has to be Blaq's. I can't say that on someone else's.
Co-production ingine.
It has to feel that way. And then when Blaq tells
You're welcome, Blaq. You're 3 years later. That's how your buzz in age vizuri. Your buzz are aging well. Your own producer.
Why should we release Little Brother of 7 years?
Come on, buzz 3 years ago.
You still keep the same man.
Connect the door backwards, hey. Forget the known couch, hey. Project your own pattern, hey. Connect the door backwards.
Karibu sana to another Sanaa kwa Sanaa anniversary conversation. I am super excited that we are doing this. We've done several of this huu mwaka. Tulikuwa na Michelle Gatwiku on set. We had Elsie Wamio on set, and we also have had Unganisha on set. At the moment, the last two bado hazijatoka. Pengine by the time you're watching this, they are out. But last year, tukianza conversations, ulikuwa wa kwanza. Ulikuwa our debut. Tukifanya ya All Roads Lead Home. The comfort of your home. In your Basquiat look. Taka kumeikata.
COVID
2022. Yeah, so we discussed kuhusu All Roads Lead Home, debut at Tra 2015. That was the 7th anniversary last year, and ulikuwa the first.
Sisi first.
Artist. Anzisha. Then we talked na Romy towards the end of the year, and here we are again on the 3rd anniversary of SADFA.
On the 1st of September.
On the 1st of September.
SADFA.
Hey, kupata watu ni kazi. Kwanza
we try. We thank God.
Kwanza kupata Blaq. Finally Jaja me open doors.
I'm open doors.
Na here we are. Shukran sana Blaq, shukran Tra for welcoming us to the home of Maliza Roho sessions. I hope you've watched hizo sessions of Maliza Roho. Waliachana nazo after some time, but they're amazing sessions that you should watch. So how do you feel being here 3 years later? Baada ya SADFA kutoka. SADFA ina proceed your debut pamoja, Tell Us, 2018 September. After that, the following year, Jan of 2019, Maliza Roho, the EP. Then after that, 2020, mka release SADFA.
Hey, first of all, shout out for keeping
EP.
the tab. We mizo de tunasema.
28th. And fun fact, SADFA ina share anniversary na Sanaa kwa Sanaa.
You see?
28th of August. 28th of August. Mnafilaje? Tra, mnatuambia then Blaq.
Feel about the whole process.
A moment too, literally.
This specific moment. And like so much has changed. To me, music changed, and then also, like for me, music is a whole journey. Even kusikiza just SADFA right now. I don't think nimekaa chini nikaisikiza in its entirety before, because between last year until like April, I was in performance mode. So it was just even like rehearsing beats, Blaq sending me performance tracks. So now is when I can look back and say, Mungu semaje Genesis kisha at the end of creation, and it was good. So looking back at what we made, and I'm like, okay, it is okay. We made something, and everywhere I go, man, like there's always someone who hung on something from that SADFA project. Sometimes it's even like the most random stranger will tell me about a song, and they'll have a whole in-depth analysis of what it meant to them. Even before you're playing the song in the embarked, and I saw some tweets where guys were discussing reduce the magic, induce the magic, reduce the baggage. Like they're even arguing, what did he say? Did he say garbage or baggage? Did he say package? And then kuna msee anamwambia it has to be packaged because everyone packages, and I'm like, guys are there fighting about a line. I'm like,
That's special.
that's beautiful,
That's
man.
special.
And then SADFA opened doors for me for like working with Fanisi people. Like they told me that's the first project. I think it's Suki. Shout out to Suki. And they have a podcast called Breaking Hearts.
Breaking Hearts.
And that podcast, the title from that podcast came from Hearts itself. So I like how, for me, I'm gonna be a Black before I'm in a space of inspiration, and I think I was. Yeah, like if my art can make you go and do another artsy thing or make you want to create something, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to, if I'm just like strategizing, and I sat with someone the other day who told me they were in a label, and how all that strategy made them never want to create again. Like overthinking, and I was in that space at some point. I was like, I never want to, let me strategize with other things, but with art it has to be spirit and soul or none. So mimi niko hapo right now. If you're asking me in the moment, that's where I am. I'm like, I want to get back to get my soul back. That's what I'm saying. Soul brother. Soul brother number 2.
Uliniambia,
Yeah.
inspiring by any means unnecessary.
Any means unnecessary, not even necessary. Even for myself, if something inspires me and decides, Kesho, maybe I want to start picking up painting, I won't fight that feeling. If I want to pick up an instrument after a few years, I won't resist that. So, me go up.
Black.
Yeah.
Naweje.
For me, first of all, you guys, shout out to you, manze. Shout out to you. We see you. Yeah.
Yeah, umekiza calls to me a number of times. Ukiendanga into the rabbit hole.
Yeah. As in, I hardly spend time online that much, but when nikiingia hapo itabaki hii weekend yote ni sana kwa sana wamefanya nini since the last time I checked out. So unasema kina Elsa Maoyo.
Yeah,
Elsa. Okay. You know, I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, shout out to the work you're doing, and also just really digging into the projects we do. You guys make it worth it. Hizo tunasema tuna trap, as in you meet random strangers and try break down a project that you've done. That's what it was for. As in, somebody took something out of it, because we also know other projects we listen to take something out of it, and it kind of directs your life for a certain amount of time. Unapata hii kitu umehang on for, it's taking you through something, it's taking you into something. So when you find people react like that to a piece of art we made, hey manze, that's it. And we also know what kind of inspiration we were digging into when we were creating, what circumstances, what situations tulikuwa ndani when we were creating that art. So seeing somebody pick it up na ajue and understand and even try, like that thing you're saying about package, garbage, that's myself as in mixing and mastering the project. It's something that was, whatever goes. Nikisema ni garbage in my head. Ndio hiyo. So unajua, try the way he puts together his words. It actually opens up for that kind of thing. As in, okay, mimi nilisikiaga package na nikakwama hapo. Wajua nilisikia garbage nikakwama hapo, and it still made perfect sense for whatever was making you interpret it evil. So yeah, manze, for me, SADFA was a special project in so many ways. Mio tumeenda lockdown, and like I was telling you earlier, I was, what's this?
I've just remembered, we shot, before we started recording, we used to record conversations by the stairs.
Yeah, which I still have.
I also have them in my phone. Before we started even making the project, we used to record podcasts and drink
mamnazi bwana.
Couple stairs, you're just like, okay, now what's going on? And then sometimes the camera would fail,
The vocal did not record.
Audio, I think some of them are still in my phone.
Yeah.
So nimekumbuka like, it was such a... Before even we started making the project, it was just a long period of... I used to come sometimes, Vangoza keyboard, you take pictures, what you're doing your own like work.
Yeah.
Then you trying to start a business.
Yeah. It
was such an interesting time.
Yeah,
and then
super interesting.
I was working with Goofy, shooting videos with so many artists.
To me, it was amazing. Actually, up to today, it kind of looks dreamy. Your time ukifikiria kwa kichwa, you're like, wesa nilikulwa na inaitwaje?
Nairobi fly.
Nairobi fly.
Yeah.
Also mechubuko. I'm like, so many, I'm wondering now, what disease is this? So nimejifungia caretaker ndio anakam, nikamuita nikamwambia bu, cheki sura yangu jo, nini hicho? Ambia, ulishika na ile Nairobi fly. What is that? And there's something. Google. I'm like, shit. So this is what it does. So it was a crazy time. We're trying so many things, and then COVID ikatupata while just starting. So even with Tra, we were not really trying to start to create. Like what we do normally. Hey, what's popping? If I don't see Tra for a month or two or whatever, a week, it's always about catching up on what maybe you've picked along the way, things maybe what you're reading, what you're watching, and we have convos around that. Now you can imagine the conversation we were having around COVID. Hiyo tu, ati tumefungiwa kwa nyumba na serikali. Tumefungiwa. And out of that, it's these things to me, I always say they make themselves. It's never, as it's able to indicate about and your situation.
Kitu specific.
I always stayed with nasemanga kwa hii project Tra.
Quote me Tra.
When you're talking about me, so even quote Tra, Tra ametulia. Like it's not, I think there's a way you put it. I was like, yeah, there was no hurry for things. Like I remember when we met the other side, we stayed with that song for like weeks, just listening to it, like just driving, just listening to that one jam, like again, being surprised like that thing came out.
Yeah.
And then, so it was such a seamless project. Mina semanga, people still, I think right now people are faking the funk.
Yes.
And Malema said something about capitalism. He said every time capitalism fails, it borrows from socialism, communism. But when it thinks it's working, it says all these other methods are like nonsense, they don't work. But that time, the world can move. People are helping each other. People are doing crazy things just together to get back on their feet. The George Floyd thing, whatever that was, even if years we've processed it in a different way, but we saw like the world can move in a different way. And the guy once told me like, when all that was happening, this is what you chose to say. And that's why for me SADFA is a special project, because it just marks a time. It marks a time, like
anytime you hear it, you can actually see that time. You can see anything happening on TV, anything happening in this. You can see the empty streets. So I know the coolest thing about listening to this project. Some of us we had to do this work for doing cross county. Tulikuwa na ile license, that license here. Half kuna run mkahawa. So I could find myself from here to Meru. Una drive kwa yellow line, bump into this shit. As in the road is yours.
Yeah.
Hakuna watu, and it's usiku, you're like, acha. As in you're listening to it was an amazing situation. I just pictured that. Doing the whip test, you're driving, you have 3 tracks done. Tunakamkumaliza hizo zingine labda kesho. So unasikiza and you're like, wow. You just surprised too, and at the same time you're being surprised by what the world is ushering to you.
Ilikuwa definitely a different time, and the music unaweza feel how the music feels, unaweza sikia your production and what you got into musically, unaweza sikia approach pia Tra with the writing and the thoughts, and we mention kutumia Black Milk earlier before tuanze record as a reference point, which I wanted us to touch upon, basically kuangalia just hip hop in general, since this previous month imekuwa its 50th celebration. Tulikuwa missed na Santuri pamoja huko Santuri, but ulikuja missed for the celebration. We had a convo na Kalamashaka, ulikuwa na performance kulikuwa na performance and Black will share a fascinating story during the conversation, but even before, as you were setting up, ukituambia how ulikuwa front row F2 Kalamashaka
96-95
wakiperform, and katika touching on that moment ya Jadili session, performance ya The Mist, and being in that environment, as well as the following day Sato kulikuwa na Boom Bap Click, kulikuwa na festival, an event at museum. Your reflections to generally on those two events and this celebration ya hip hop 50 years later.
No, I mean, I just remember Black not even called. Hey, well, this thing is 50. And he said, I don't know, remember this thing that we invested our time.
They took us
took
through
our lives, or
it ruined our
separated
lives,
us
it
from
fixed our
people.
lives.
I remember there's a girlfriend who told me you've joined the cult. When I started like really loving hip hop, na nilikuwa nasikiza kitu naambia zima your story. I became so for me those events, even when I went for Kalamasha, I was there just to have fun and enjoy, because I was like, I have nothing else to give to this craft or whatever.
Nikupatie fun fact, niki-interject. Ile night yenye ulirecord All Roads
at home.
the same night Kalamashaka were doing their reunion at museum, at Treehouse.
Yeah, and then I missed it because I was like, let me sacrifice that. Nikaenda nuts. Good memory.
That stuff fascinates me.
Yeah.
How you put those things together. And that's why Sanaa is what it is. Yeah, that's special.
It's this was another reunion they were doing, like another comeback. Yeah, so me, I'm like, I think it was good for them, like to just, I think that was the element that's what's needed right now. There's like, we need to celebrate people at least.
Yeah.
Because hip hop hasn't been doing that for a while. There's been a lot of like intellectualism. This is what this means. Break this down.
Or this one's time is done.
This
it's
time
the
is
new
done,
thing.
And then there's something LL Cool J said. He said, who asks about Miles Davis' net worth or John Coltrane or rock artists? They just say, look at their body of work. Look at what they created. Kwa genre zingine, they never say like, oh, who pioneer hakuna kitu aliniachia. But the fact that creating is making something from nothing. And then when it comes to hip hop, there's elements, there's the flow, there's the production, there's so many things that have to come together for a 3-minute song to change someone's life.
Or less than that.
Extreme. It's like 1 minute you have to say something, tell your story, give a perspective, and then sometimes you have to have a visual that will match. So like all these things coming together just for you to create this art form. Unaweza kaa kwa ofisi, you do your rigorous, type your thing, sign your paper. This is some whole other thing. You can't say it's the same. You might say it's worthless because the world has decided like, oh, these other things are the more worthy things. But who knows? Me, there's a friend. There are people who have played songs and you can just see, like, I remember Occult Law and even Rangi Zingine, people who've like, you know what I'm saying, just you've changed their day. You've made them like, and people forget that about art. Like, there are things you listen to, you unwind with music, sometimes a song can take you to a different place. So, hip hop at 50, that was cool. We were there as we were having a good time, just, connecting on our own.
Meeting peers.
Yeah, meeting peers, having our own, perspective about things. I think also that's what hip hop is. It's a very individual thing. See, like everyone has to have the same perspective of what it is. But still, I'm grateful that it's still going, and I'm sure there will be more and better things. Yeah.
Black.
For me, like Tra and Sema, okay, me, I hardly mark anniversaries to things. And nikashida tu. Hata birthday saa zingine si ukumbushwa. Wait, your birthday is next week. You're like, snap. So, I remember just saying that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a turn. And I was so busy. I'm like, I'm gonna make a turn. But I was like, wait, 50 years is such a milestone for this culture, Joe. And how much dude, we work. Some of us work so that we can buy time to create. As in you can see this place. That's the master bedroom. That's where the studio is. I sleep in the guest bedroom. You know what I mean? It's prioritized in so many ways. Hapo ndio kitu kivunjike, it has to be replaced quick. The headphones broke, I need some other headphones ASAP. Other things, umeona mabalbu ndizo zile sijui hata ni don't even remember it. It doesn't matter. But then kitu ndogo, so I'm like, damn man, we give so much to this, and we know what it gives to us. Yes, in that sense of inclusion, as in just being part of whatever this whole broth is, dunia yote, as in your contribution to it. It's given us purpose. It's helped us heal through things we go through. It's helped us come up with newer things, ideas. Even the stuff we do is off just interests you built from this culture. So I was like, Kwanza, I took a long shower for it. Unajua kosha moti kwanza hiyo siku nilekini kafanya mahoving. I'm like, yo, manze
ilikuwa special occasion.
Yeah, go sijaiva.
Sindio
Kiba hayozi, this Kenyan design. Let me look different. Let me feel different.
Yeah, and an overall.
And birth is if it's your birthday, you feel good. If I go at your birthday now, you're like, how nilifikaje 50? Nah, si wewe. You should celebrate.
Hizo stories zingine wacha.
Allah alikuwa anasema sometimes God blesses you with things, and instead of just saying, hey, asante, you start now. Break it down now. Say you didn't make it happen yourself. Even me, I'm not 50 myself. I found this thing here.
Na kama pia alisema hiyo, alisema si wenyewe tuko 50.
Kitu I found it.
And we've given it time, and it's given us time in life, and vice versa. As in, it's a very mutual relationship. It's giving you, you're giving it.
At this moment, this moment right here, hiyo nikianza kusikia Tra, nilikuwa naambia, I mentioned it kwa podcast, nilikuwa naambia Musoti na Irauka mwenye alipass regards zake mbaya sana, and ni fascinating because tukifanya review ya hii pipi ya kukua and it ties to what Black was saying earlier, where una have kuhustle ndio by time kufanya vitu fulani. So hiyo day tulikuwa tumefanya reaction videos kadhaa in the wee hours, and one of those was Dots. And then after reaction videos ka 7 hivi tukafanya reviews ka 3 za albums. So by the time we were doing SADFA ilikuwa in the morning, na alikuwa anafaa kwenda. So tumekaa awake the entire night, tukamaliza akaenda Wera. So tukabaki na Roger na Musoti. But nilikuwa naambia kwa podcast that the first time nilisikia you on record ilikuwa Dynasties and Kingdoms kiwa na Romy. Na hiyo nilisikia maybe early 2010s, in 2011 or so. Na nilisikizia KBC The Underground, show ya Bernard Okumu na Jared Mbui. And then after that, hata umeonyesha photo earlier, years later I'm buying your albums and CDs. in 2016 nakumbuka March ilikuwa umedrop All Roads the previous year and you are working on another project nikakamkukuona ukiwa Reagan. And your time you had just bumped into Kazi za Blaq on SoundCloud and you had written on a song or two
on Bandcamp.
You got before that alikuwa amesikiza tu some of your stuff and alikuwa ameanza ku-create over those. I'm ukiniambia I've come across a producer into Akili Blaq on SoundCloud. That was 2016.
This wall, kama sticker plans and like things I wanted to do, and then everyone who used to come to that room I'd like tell you wanna hear what I'm working on. I just like rap for you. Then my friend Mavo, who's in Ireland right now, kwanza juzi aliniambia he wants to do a whole he has videos for all my concerts, like he used to be at the front. So he's been going for like alikuwa the guy I told you alienda kwa concert the other day amenitumia picture with was that Isaiah Rashad, as in he's always Kendrick, so it's just anaonanga his stories is always just so he's found a new traction and he wants to do like a history of Tra. The other day his job wakamuuliza write because you are from Africa, write something inspiring about an African. And then he wrote a thing about me, man. And this is me. I'm not working. I'm not in Miniko. But he's saying like, those things unaongea juu ya hip hop. When now ukirudisha back to reggae and that small house and that room where I was sharing with my bro, my sis, we're all in one corner. But mimi nimejiwekea corner hivi just to write raps.
Unajua ulikuwa umeandika ile verse yako ukibreak down the acronym TRA nyuma ya notebook fulani the entire verse.
See like the fact to remember those things.
It's insane.
And then the crazy thing, Blaq was just living at 87 the whole time. I could do like 1 mat away, 20 bob. And me, and no, even the neighbor who was my upstairs neighbor is the one who came one day and told me, by the way, there's a guy called Blaq who I work with in this agency. You should listen.
And him is like, dude, there's this kid called Tra.
And now
shout out to Gili.
So the wife would buy the mixtape. She'd see me when I used to walk with a bag full of CDs, Kenda Sarakasi. So one day she bought everything. So I don't know. So me, I don't know how those things happen. Yeah.
You can't. That's what they call God's work, the universe's energy. There's whatever it is. So I remember Tra coming to the I have very few CDs. You're just CDs the way they ran out. These are the only CDs I own.
And this we got it during
kwanza unajua nilikapogundua baadaye that Blaq kulikuwa issue ya Aquanaru cause niliona kwa channel yako a video
short
na sasa baadaye ni hits. This is 2016. This is the same year ulijua Blaq na uniambia kuhusu Blaq, and then because this happened in September Aquanaru akiwa huku hivi 2016 ni ilikuwa very fascinating for me ku notice that Blaq ulikuwa unasema something about your
nasema just the way I
catalog.
Sababu nilipata Tra now na meeting him at some gig and Jill kwa ni wapi and he was peddling them things. Shoko back was like so I got this alafu I mentioned I think I mentioned Mungu Mteja. No, he just mentioned I've come across your work or something. What was it, Tra?
No, I think I saw something with Lima and I'd worked with Lima
on
a track here. Who
we were pushing Mima's project then.
Yeah. And then I was like, I worked with Mima on a track called Maybe. And that studio was so dark, I didn't see her face. I didn't see her. She just came, she just sang, maybe we ain't what we supposed to be. And then she left. The most sweetest, humble. So when I saw, I was like, oh, interesting.
That was amazing. Because it's weird how these things work. And if you can't find us we are this side working with Mimaz our debut project by Jimmy and
yo.
It's
which imetoka all these years later. It's
no, but when we're saying about this stuff here, this thing at 50 and just how how we've given ourselves to it, that in itself is, we had to acknowledge that. Shout out to the culture, and of course there's always so many influences we have when we talk musically, but there was the foundation of unachiki. Like right now we could say probably like myself, I consider myself a loop digger before anything. Right now you play a few things, but it's always founded under the fact that there's a record you heard or you're trying to look for something in. So it's always been the foundation here. And out of that now you come appreciating other things. Jazz becomes a staple to you because we were looking for records in jazz records or punk rock, whatever. This is your magazine. Oh, my parents were so musical. These are things we found along the way. Yeah? It's things to say. The things we found along the way, and just because of hip hop, you discovered you didn't have any other foundation. That I'm speaking for myself. You didn't have any other foundation for the music that right now you cherish. It's through trying to make these beats. You end up going like, no, I'm not actually looking for. And right now it's become even hard to sample some records because of how much you end up appreciating that record. When Kali wanasema, yo, so shout out to hip-hop for you, and long live, and we hope, of course it will morph into some other things, become integrated into other things, but what it's done up to that time, we give thanks.
Kuna something that we talked about kwa our most recent recording that we shared this week on Monday for our podcast, Sawa Blaq. And ningependa kusikia pia your perspective. So tulikuwa tunasema the idea was if there are 3
should be there.
essential hip-hop albums that you can mention and say, what would those 3 be?
Essential.
3 essential hip-hop albums.
I won't think, because if I think, so let me just say the first thing that came to my mind was Dead Prez, Let's Get Free. Because of the simplicity of the messages. There are songs there like Discipline, where they're just singing, discipline makes things easier, organize your life. And I just remember listening, like there's schools, or happiness, or mind sex, like those songs. I used to think they're not writing complex bars and metaphors, but the older you grow, you realize, okay, this was true. The first song, Animal Farm, they took a book and then they broke it down into a whole song, and it's where we are, it's a Shamba la Wanyama, and it's bigger than hip hop. The video, and I saw that video of Dead Prez, Let's Get Free, and then it starts with kuna demo anatembea na hug, and then they're like, now that we have your attention, and they bring the real video, and I'm like, why didn't hip hop at 50 celebrate video vixens? Video vixens have pushed this culture till now. A lot of women. Me, that's the only thing I'd say. Women have been used by hip hop. That's a whole other conversation. But they are not put at the forefront. Like, women have been talked about, they have been called names, and then they have been used to sell videos, to market songs.
And you also talked about that.
That's a whole other thing about hip hop at 50 and women in hip hop. There's a whole podcast I would suggest. It's called Louder Than a Riot, where they bring women in hip hop and the things they have had to do. Even this over sexuality that's right now, men have been doing it, but now when it comes from a different voice, it sounds offensive. It sounds so. There's all other layers to this, but okay, I'll say Dead Prez, Let's Get Free, just because of the simplicity of it. Black Star, Talib, and Mos Def. There's songs there like Respiration, man. Brown Skin Lady, Eighth Light. It's just this, it's simple raps for me, and that's the most complex thing about music, to make it simple and still saying something, because when people simplify, they start talking about nonsense. but music used to like, like you can tell someone about your day. And they'll pick up a thing or two. And then maybe for the modern, I just say Kendrick Section 80 because I still have it on CD because niliiban kwa cyber. The day it dropped, I was a cyber head, like nilikuwa a fan of J. Cole. So nikona produced by J. Cole, High Power. Then now nikachana na J. Cole. Since I had High Power, I never looked back. And then when Section 80 was dropping, I was in the cyber nangoja tu itoke hivi, nikaenda na CD, and then I put it in, and when I just had fuck your ethnicity, I was like, what the hell is this? And then there's fire crackling in there. Then there was all these jazzy elements, rigor mortis. I'm like, and then Absol's outro. I stopped brushing my teeth with fluoride because of Absol. I stopped using fluoride toothpaste.
Kuna hiyo pia aspect ya hip hop.
Yeah, like hip hop, like really, mimi nilikuwa naangalia toothpaste hivi naona fluoride sijui 2%. I'm like, don't mess up my third eye. For like my whole family. My mom stopped using because of me. Niliconvert our whole house. We started buying this Islamic toothpaste. Zinaitwa Dabur. Because they also say toothpaste has pork in it. So hip hop like is so powerful, like it can change how you see yourself, and people are like, hizo tu ni kujiekelea vitu. But me, I think it to just be unique as a person. Even in Section 80, there's a song called Kush and Corinthians. Like
with BJ.
Yeah, be different, do different things. Don't do it like he did, because he had what you wait. And we can't win, like we are all. I think that's what hip hop is losing. Uniqueness, like be yourself. Because I feel like other genres of music, people are like, oh, we're all goth. Sisi wote ni maras. Sisi wote ni, like we're all like, like reggae. It becomes a collective consciousness. But hip hop, even you look at Wu-Tang, what made them different? Method Man was Method Man. RZA was RZA. ODB was ODB. So, yeah, for me it's the individuality, and that's why I love Blaq's like music and production, because even what brought, I don't know, the chemistry is all just like him. Some things don't impress him, It's just like, okay, on to the next. Me, I'm gonna make my own things, man, And that kind of is dope. It's dope. It's like, and it's not even from a place of dismissiveness. It's just that you found what you want to do, and then you do it in the way you love doing it.
The creator's dilemma.
But nimepick that kuhusu Blaq, and I drink it from inspiration. Na pia kukuput on the spot, nimuuliza Tra, what would you say are 3 essential hip hop albums?
Oh, that's a good one. Essential.
For him or for everyone?
Vyote tu vile, or you pick 2 in whatever way.
I can only speak for myself. Generations are different. Somebody will catch. It's what you caught first and it went. Me, first of all, the most important album for me, The Sons of Men. The last shall be the first. That's why you see this MM the third, Mwana Mundu the third.
The third.
Yeah, it's weird. That was my pop's nickname, and that's the album that it's a Wu-Tang affiliate. So of course you heard Wu-Tang Forever first, and you're like, oh my god. As in, I was never in the Tupac Biggie thing so much, because about that thing that there was that Wu thing going on. Speaking like Jesus, hapo ndo unaanza kupata things that really speak to you. And then Wu-Tang Forever comes in 97, and then 98. It's now you're like, what the hell? These guys are speaking to me. So I'd say Sons of Men, the last shall be the first. When it comes to rhymes, I've always felt like hip hop is the only culture where you have an opportunity to say so much. in one song. So much. So it
In a bar.
it better be something. It better be
Induce the
something.
magic. Reduce the baggage.
Ndio sababu, not bashing anything.
Maneno sita.
We check what people are levitating to, whether it became the mumble, it became the crank. It's all good, whatever anybody digs. But I've always been biased with it in the fact that, please, if you're going to have an opportunity to say something in 3 verses, 16 bars, it better be something somebody can take home. It's a book you're writing. So you only part on Sons of Men, of course, Wu-Tang. That's Wu-Tang as a body in itself. And then now there's fantastic Volume 2 Slum Village. Now that was what really a good vibe in a song feels like. And our beat, an instrumental, Sabude, it was like, what am I hearing, Manze? I heard that first in Botswana. I was in Botswana just after high school and just picked a record. I don't know, off the shelf. And I'm like, yo, nikisikia kwa Discman. And I think a lot of things changed. That I wish I knew dates like you, because I'm gonna mark you. It really fucked me up, because I walked from Tao to where I was staying at my uncle's place. Na hiyo nika kutoka hapa mpaka Gigiri. Nika South Story M3. Unaweza chukua M3. I'm just walking and I keep stopping. Inaanza tena. Kakwa pavement. I have this thing with pavements. I think it's the nicest place ya kukaa. Baro kwa pavement. So, yeah, that one finished me completely. The third one, now there's a vast of things. When now even the words became heavier. I wouldn't pick a specific album, but a conglomerate, I'd say Def Jokes. That's the Aesop Rock, that's the Cannibal Oxes, there's
LP.
That's LP.
Yeah.
That entire whole thing. That's the time we had started ripping CDs. So they used to come as many. Sio tunapata CD moja. Same time we were putting DVDs. Unajaza ma album. So I'd pick that as one album. Because those times, nights when you were like, this is the epitome of using the craft of speech and writing. As in, it's the highest level unaweza. So we've been kind of biased to the underground, the so-called underground kind of sounds, because that's where we feel like people kind of are more expressive without wondering who's really going to be listening to this. Even the producers. If somebody would pick industrial noises, put them to and you're like, I'm going to spit on top of that and speak something about whatever it is that they're feeling that time. And I feel like there was so much truth there. So became so biased to that, and it's until now, besides the other genres, you still want to hear somebody say something when it comes to a rap.
Yeah.
Or just say, somebody say something, you're like, ooh, you really thought about that. I like that. It helps you even mold, literally for formulate thoughts. As in, they kind of change your way of thinking about something or viewing the world you're in. So yeah, these one is a
kuna a lot to be said on hip hop na ideology formation, as to also how it ties to identity and personal identity. Alafu incidentally, Dead End Hip Hop, busy for 30 wa Dead End Hip Hop. Every time wakiongeleanga impactful albums, important albums, you mention Fantastic Volume 2. Black pia ameitaja hiyo time in 2020 imegusia kidogo, but crafting music during a pandemic and then releasing music during the same time, how did that feel?
Crafting, I don't know. For me, every day was a day of reflection. As I was waking up, I enrolled into NLP classes. I would wake up, attend my classes. I was in a fellowship while we were making the album. I was in the Bacchanal Fellowship, and I was making another EP, Safari, during the pandemic. So I was working out, I was eating healthy, I wasn't caring. Sikuwa na haraka ya kuenda mahali, sikuwa na... Yeah, and then I think the music was just, it was more from a space of being, like being myself, not doing, so, and I think people operate from, we're human beings, not human doings, human pursuings, and I think that's for the first time I understood what that meant without thinking too much. Like today I woke up and I said, don't explain your heart too much. Like sometimes what these systems do to you, they make you over-explain yourself until you lose your voice. Like you lose the essence of what you really wanted to say. So you're like, oh, this is what I meant when I said this. But no, how did you feel when you heard it? That's the most important thing. Rather than me trying now to go back. Because, I tweeted, I was talking to a DJ yesterday and we were talking about absorbing and transmitting. Like absorbing is very easy, and that's where we are. Everyone is absorbing shit. But transmitting a frequency, someone saying, I heard you clearly. Yeah. And I got what you, even if it was nonsense, it was a gibberish, it was a hum, whatever it was you said.
I heard that.
And I feel like that's when I had Blaq's beats. It was just, Akili Divine with the snapping. I don't remember writing those things. I don't know. It was just like, I had that, and then also, like, so that time for me, I feel there were so many things, like, had stopped. There was quiet. And there was opportunity for people to, like, look at themselves differently, and, yeah.
There was the thing about Kombali, kulikuwa na ile, maybe this is it. As in, the world is done. This is a revelations thing. As in somewhere, we had folks who passed on that time based on what was happening that time, the COVID itself, suicide, so many things, and you're like, yeah, maybe. And I think even us when we were creating that time, there was that thing of just let it. Like I keep saying, these things make themselves based on the times you're in. Because even when Tra writes, like I keep saying, Tra has this haikus. Maybe 2 lines. Once I see how he gets an idea out, it's never work. See, I'm going to crack my skull on this. How should I approach? Hey, kitu sahi. Here's a beat. Let me. So there are people will be playing. It's not done, and then you see him go through his phone and angela to vitu, ama he has a pad or something, and then repeats this haiku a few times, or even is writing it that time. Alafu out of it, there is dots.
The best example is Aitoshiwalai. That is a mistake. It's me trying to figure out the beat. It's like me, I'm trying to like, and then Blaq is like, nah, even if you scare Blaq, I go like, scare vizuri. He's trying to like, just, and then I think Nilingia, he was like, recorded left, like didn't even stay long, and then Ian was telling me there's a venue I want you to see. And that's the place where we shot the video for Aitoshiwalai. That same place. So Ian is calling me. He's like, hey, it's a little bit far. Lazima tuende. So I come. Blaq is playing this beat. I'm like, what is this? Then I'm like, okay. And I'm like, wait, again. So he's like, just do it. And then I think SADFA is the first time I stopped standing up while recording. It's the first time.
Because kuna videos niliona ulikuwa umekaa hivi mbele ya mic.
Sitting, some I was even kneeling. I think open doors I was kneeling because I was tired of sitting. It's the first time I changed the position of like standing and being like, it wasn't that, it was more like sit, pile the books up and then the mic was like a roadie, it's not your normal, it's a mic for podcasts.
Yeah.
So even Blaq was like, you have to thank this mic. I like how Blaq has this relationship with equipment.
The equipment.
Sometimes naingianga hapa, there's a day naingia hapa anapanguza everything, you know, cleaning, and I love it, man. Like, you know, all the time he lost the laptop, the way he let go of that laptop. I'm like, that's dope. I need such a relation to my. Me, I don't. It's very interesting.
These things are
like he let that thing go, and I think that also we lost like 2 tracks from Telos. Someone like Golden.
Yeah.
We lost some jams, some like Fuego, unfinished. Like that beat made Sumbua fall.
like Fuego, we hardly perform Fuego because what you have. It's not on Telos. It was on.
It was just the first.
It was just a Lucy.
It was just a jam.
It was just we had it in Snappy.
Yeah,
it was
Snappy.
It was just a Lucy. As in, it's because that instrumental. There's hi-hats. We have in there that we can't replicate. We have all the other elements. So zilipotelea.
But hi-hats, zili.
Hi-hat. Kuna groove. Once there's, and I feel like all the soul in a beat is packed in the swing of a hi-hat. Maybe if we ask philosophy instrumentals as in the most important thing ukipata right for me. When I get it, I go like, oh, I normally call it catching a groove, but it's normally what the higher shelf is doing. It has to cry. There has to be something little that is crying in there, and it's not intentional. That's when I finish a bit, I'm going like, oh, I love this one. It's when I hear those elements are addressed. That little cry, or it could be just kakitu tu kama. But what the hi-hat is, so Fuego, tumejaribu ku replace your hi-hat to a point we might never even perform this jam ever.
You should show it how many versions of projects I have. You come a point I don't even talk to Blaq.
aliambia Blaq ananipatia sijui versions ngapi za Maliza Roho. Mimi nimechoka na hii kitu.
I have a whole like
Mafolder tu.
No, if we don't catch that thing, if we don't catch that groove, G.
Taitafuta. Utapiga. Hiyo ni historia ya Maliza Roho. Hiyo ni
Yeah, katika pilka za kufilter kabla ni nil ni give up nilijifil kufilter acha my bills build up niko kwa field na feel tough niko kwa field na fear curfew. Let's get it yeah katika pilka.
Since umeongelea philosophy ya instrumentation and approaching production katika kuuliza what you went into and the approach ya production for SADFA, ukiangalia vile maybe uli approach Maliza Roho, the EP, ama vile uliingia into Telos, where were you drawing from? To mention Black Milk earlier. And then umesema wewe ni loop digger, and the first time tulikamingi mtaa, the previous place ulikuwa na play some music, ulikuwa na play a video ya some producers wakimake stuff. What were you drawing from your time creative wise, creatively? Mbona cheka?
Oh, do you know who you're talking?
Sorry. Look, first of all, as with Tra's approach to this thing, it's imekuwa almost standard. With whether it was Telos was having this tinnitus. That's why the project, actually when you hear it's noisy, and as in I couldn't hear properly from making beats using headphones in the office. And at that time nilikuwa office guy. Niko na laptop yangu na office hapa beats as I moved to the office. So I ended up messing my ears heavy. And yeah, but that's that. The approach here, it's normally standard with Tra. First of all, there's a certain time I did nothing but make beats for a decade. As in nothing else. Nikiamka asubuhi nikaenda kudoze for a full decade. So there's a reference.
Meaning from what year to what year?
I'd say 2006 2005 to 2015.
You pia earlier we mentioned how Zillows Heaven, the beat near the oldest of
It's
the
the
batch.
oldest. Yeah. No, exactly.
Like Telos was choose a year, choose a month.
Yeah. Choose a year between that and choose a month. We're going to go to that folder and pick a sketch.
That's why there's something like quarter life crisis. Like, what is that? What is that beat?
It's
New beat.
What is that? That I had that. It's like, okay, that will go. You know, like
that's the approach we have with Tra mostly. Yeah, actually, like you say, some of them like Toshiwa Lights instant stuff hapo Tra and hivi akirudi, there's something that's it's become pretty easy to knock a beat out, but there's things that there's an idea. I've never deleted a single hata kama ilitoka mbaya aje for that time. I have thousands of files. Sijawahi delete kitu ati nikasema hii siku. Kwa hivyo utaingia labda July 2009
Utapata
find 400 beats.
Unalia kuhusu folders 2-3. Unasikia Blaq akona folders ngapi?
it's a crazy process, man.
It's so go in there and look for a sketch. It's a sketch. Those are not finished at all. It's collaborative dig kitu, got a riff. Could be a guitar riff. You're like, oh, and saved it. Just put a pseudo drum fake. Okay, save to come a file. Evo. So that's how we pick ideas from. And then now build using the new techniques you've learned along the way. Make it what it is right now. So that's how we approach the entire SADFA. And remember me, there's this thing of the world is ending. So there's this sounds when you go now to Zillow's Heaven, an instrumental I loved a lot. Shoved it down so many artists and said, oh, this sounds nice to hear, but I don't know what to say on it.
It's also that.
Yeah.
Like, I think Maliza Raw is a lot of that. It's like when I would ask about the beat, it'd tell me a whole story about this beat in SA. Where like we won. Everyone was
like we won was like, what is this? We won.
Like now, so like
What is this?
So we would play these beats to pips when they were like in their raw form and they wouldn't know what to do. But then I would find a way. I don't know.
And also now the reason why I also work mostly with Tra is because there's akunaga yo. Let's try something else. Is whatever is there, if the situation is right, we'll talk about whether we dig it or not after it's done. That time, same when I think it's a mutual respect on the craft. So even me when it comes to what he wants to say on a jam, mimi nataka tu nikae hapo ukienda, I arrange this thing. Whatever you put, kama ilikuwa gani 32 bars alafu a 1 bar hook, whatever to nini, whether ilikuwa ni what do you call it,
Mantras.
Whether it's a mantra, something you notice a lot. There's this very hooky thing.
For sure.
Mostly you find most of the projects actually they were the haikus. Utapata when you talk about dots. The first thing we had ilikuwa ni what's your kumbusho?
A good day for
the ego,
bad day for the soul.
If you asked me, if it were not just the standards of music, I'd have that thing for 10 minutes.
That's what happened with Bank on This. Bank on This.
Mimi. I love them things. Yo. I'm sure if I was working with other people to be like, no, cut.
Ngepula Fela Kuti, twende tukiendanga na hiyo statement moja tu hapo. Twende tu.
I could listen to that all day. It speaks to me. So you find it's the first things that normally come about when it's and once we capture that, the other stuff is flawless. The rhymes najiandika too. Yeah, the arrangement done. So that's what we were digging when it comes to me. I had the thing of, damn, there's certain sketches that feel so much now, as in they could so much now. So you find what I'm basing based on what the world is feeling like right now. The heavier parts is what are relating now, the drums, the basses, but to sample, to nini, they're dated. Yeah.
Because hata ilikuwa niseme ukisikia Dots itself and how it opens the project, in a sound calming, in a sound meditative. So nikuwa curious to understand if that was also the feeling that you were having as
now
it ties
Dots
to also
is that time. Dots is made that time from scratch to they kind of open the doors to the project. Utapata Dots Hitoshiwalai
Open Doors pia nakumbuka.
Open Doors is a sketch from hiyo that's dated. Hiyo ni moja nilikuwa najua, wow, what is this sound that sounds like today, what the world is going.
But I think I remember that
Wi-Fi.
I remember you pulling out that sketch. I was on the couch there, and you're like, "You're not hearing this shit." I'm like, I'm waiting. Then he's walking past, he was going, so I just left me on couch, and then I think left it looping, and then at night is when now it hit me. I was like, oh snap. And then something happened. But I just remember the beginning. Blaq is always like, you know it. Like Mishaiona, but it's like okay.
Unaweza kumbuka the first thoughts that will sketch ya Open Doors. Za Open Doors. Nakumbuke?
I don't nakumbuka too when Jajasha Open Doors that came at the end, very end. Now there was this other thing I was trying to build, the guy who's talking. I have like 10 minutes where Blaq would just let me talk. And those things I feel are even more powerful than
they are
than raps.
We should create actually projects based on
and just like talk on the beat. It's not even a freestyle. I don't know what it is. So that's when I was trying to tap into that and
those for me, Akili Blaq. For me, besides those haikus and those mantras, now those ones finish me. Because you're going to put the mic there and be like, let me just speak. And then we have them. We have even a character for the chap there. We call him Mzimo Mambo. So like, hey, just... And he can go on and on. You're like, wait.
Mzimo kona mingi ya kusema.
You're like, you hear them. Small things. Ukisikia kina Balzaruta, ukisikia kina Blaq is. Those things are not written, G. It's out of a lot of Blaq is.
Alafu me pick.
Alafu me picking is not looking for.
It's like any place.
Any place.
I remember one time.
Siati, sound
specific for this.
Nile tu umezisikia zote, alafu chop it. Imetoshea hapo, unachikia mka space. Imetoshea, press play. Blaq is, wow. As in Jajasha, Open Doors. What is it? Open Doors inakuwaga let it
I'm the eye of the storm.
The eye of the storm.
I know the storms are coming. But where does like things come from? But it's a zone. I don't know. And sometimes that's why we need to take a breath after this project, because we go in.
Yeah. That stuff is very mental.
Yeah.
To me, there's a lot of energy in that stuff. First of all, it's very free. It's not thought about. You're not wondering about what's the cadence, what's my tone, ni vitu tu zimesema, ni kama tunaongea sahi. So when him is alone there facing the mic, and I'm thinking, Jaja willing, there's things on those ones, just because I have a bag. I have a bag of them things.
Na Mzimu ako kwa the opening track, Dots ako kwa Open Doors, na ako kwa
SADFA.
Vantage Point.
SADFA has these invisible characters. Mzimu Mambo, Kimo
Kimocha
Chapa.
Papa.
Yeah, like, so it's like, and then there's also shout out to Mushina, Abstract Omega who came through.
Hey, shout out to Bishina, man.
Yeah.
For wewe, as far as writing, hata going back to your sentiment, nilisema kwa the review, the way your tone in a sound and the perspectives that una share with so much honesty na surety, was that period for you meditative? Juu ale umesema ulikuwa slow down, uko quiet. Was that the entire...
Very meditative. Very meditative.
Yeah.
I'd say that being there.
It was meditative, and then perspectives were changing, you know, like you're trying to see now, okay, what's going, you know, it was
And
not
no
it was
work.
a question mark, it was not an answer.
Si kazi.
Like, I've done projects, and I've done projects
Na upendi
with
kazi,
artists.
waniambianga hiyo story, upendi mziki ikiwa kazi.
Same, I'd like it to be the approach I have when I have beat and bring the beats. So even me, I don't go in there as in, as in, what do you call your, tumesema ya maliza rotu. Ndani media, kalmeka hapa. Bank on this.
Stima ilipotea.
Bank on this, stima ilipotea, laptop battery ko 40%. Before ishe, we had bank on this. Stima ilipotea. Right here, nimeka hapo tries right where Rogers is. And you know, so it's never work. It's so I like that approach. To me, is writing and approach that entire project didn't feel me. I don't recall. I have a shitty memory kidogo, but I don't recall what. I just know. Later we are listening to
Unasikia
a sketch. Ni whip test. Whip test has become a very important thing for me. How does it sound in the car? As in, those are the sessions I remember. The studio sessions. So when I make up, maybe I'm probably cooking or doing something, cleaning up here, and yeah, it's done. And your track imeisha. So it is gone. So we are not at sitting and reviewing. As in, no, what do you think hapa tukichukua hii? Whatever is there, that's what it is. To end it.
Nayo.
Yeah.
Speaking of mantras, getting into your melodies and what you are doing for the project vocally, nilifeel as if uli build upon your songwriting abilities that you had started on Atelos. So you come on, uli feel the same listening to the project back.
Yeah.
How even the arrangements and kuweka a chorus hapa, line hapa, a shorter verse, just the approach, musicality.
Just from the conversations when we talk about music, and we're like, how do you feel about the things you listen to? And we're like, some of these things, like structure, why do we always have to conform
16 hooks
to 16 bar, 16
2 minutes 30 seconds? Why?
Why?
316 bar verses.
Yeah. Why can't you have
Say everything, complete the thought.
Yeah, or have, and Black sometimes also just like sometimes a pop, like, you know, like Open Doors. And then you're right, the writing kind of changed. I think it started with Open Doors, with that like me guys tama vaccine sai might see. It was just, it sounded, and I don't know how that happened, but I feel it just felt like I could pack very much in very little, and then also have fun in the rhyming. Because to me, the pocket, once I find, that's a dope pocket right there. And then Black's recording, sometimes when we start layering the verses, it's like umelaya kwanza, then the melody comes in properly when you're doing like the fifth take. You're like, now we found, even there's this singy melodies I started catching, and I'm like, now I'm understanding what like musicality is. It's no longer just about, there has to be the emotion in the song. Come on, like the other side for me, it always catches me off guard. Sometimes I'm like,
the other side
such a
is
song.
Also, you have an idea with the other side.
The other side is
Troingi.
one of your best
Yeah, because even there's a day I posted it and someone said it's like you're recreating also language. The way I'm saying, I'm not saying the last alphabet.
Yes.
So me, I can't tell you why I was doing those things.
No, but Black, it's something you have. It's something I've seen it develop from being a self-critic to what you're expressing. Because me, it just blow my mind. Because he knows. Anaweza niambia zeitgeist ama vaccine. And I'm like, shit, man, you've said a lot in 2 words. As in, it's kind of questions he's probably asking himself. I remember when we talk even about that particular one, I don't know if this is right, but we did vax based on what we were going through the same time. I was asking ourselves this question. I had a friend who went and took the vaccine and she passed on. Yeah? And I was really thinking, hey, maybe I should take this vaccine. Maybe I should. And that time I'm thinking, tunafanya actually that project. We're in the heart of the project. And I'm like, hey, maybe. So he came from there. And then there's, like you hear him say, there's the way he's asking that. And as somebody, I always feel like I'm probably the person who's listened to these songs more. Of course, I know there are people out there because of the mixing part of it. Utasikiza hii foba uko hapo unajaribu kucheck hii snare manze sinitoe hapa nisongeshe hivi hii as in listen to it so much, so this thing is drumming in your head. Yeah, to a point where I can't actually, you see, I'm trying to refer which one is this word. I don't really know how to follow the thought, but deep inside me najua iyo verse inside.
I know this song, I know the whole song, I just can't rap
lakini
I can't rap it zingine. Oh, Black knows
anaijua lakini
siwezi najua the
I can't rap it. But believe me, deep inside me
unaijua
ni wasafi kwa kivumbi.
I know there's hiyo kivumbi labda ni kwa kivumbi hiyo ai kutoka, as in I know nimesikiza sana, so in my head as in I rap it like I'm him, but ni kama ati sana nianze. That's why you see even when I perform me and the backups, hey G,
yo,
as in the backups I don't even catch them.
Black nionyesha siku mrefu saa zingine
I can't even catch backups.
yo
nilikwambia hapa earlier unifanye hype man. Unaisishia Black kazi. Unaweza mimi nakamkaa fan. Yeye ndio amesikia kimixa kimaster.
tulifanya
I need to put some
kitchen. It's like Black, what are you doing? What's about anyway, so good.
You know, I hear myself making the mistakes, but deep inside me, I'm like, G, you don't know me. I know this jam better than you, man. G. Like, I know this rock better.
Trust me.
I'm like, yeah. Did I say that guys have a vaccine?
No, man.
Udikipitia.
Hey.
Jamaa, msijali.
Yeah. Kuna any dots that zime connect between your release, the project, or between now and the release of the project, looking back, musically or otherwise?
Yeah, as in
just around.
I realized like the things I was learning, picking up that time, like going to study NLP. I now realize why I did that. It was for myself. It wasn't for anybody.
Jamaa, usimaindi hiyo story ya kunini hapo.
Kuna nini ulisema tukiperform?
Muliro mutinda.
Like you say hata jofika hapo.
Jamaa, mimi najisikia as I hear them. But fuck.
Yeah.
To show a lie anyway. Yeah. So many dots. I don't even know, man.
Uko nasema kuchukua the
NLP, which was
program,
but it was for me, it was just something for myself. There are people I met who eventually, while I was working on the project, they came and did other things in my life, But yeah, it's been. I don't know if you ever finish connecting dots. Connect them till you go crazy. Then there are necessary dots. Some dots don't need to connect. Some things they just happen because they happen. But then at the same time, there's evolution. There's a lot of evolution, and that's the hardest part about being an artist, learning how to evolve. You know what I'm saying? Love means letting others voluntarily evolve. That's you should let.
Oh, that's a bar.
Yeah, let other people.
Oh, that's dope.
Let others voluntarily evolve. It was just an artist earlier. That's what.
Evil love.
Love to kaizo. But people think about love as this mushy thing. For me, it's a sense of
Oh, that's a T-shirt, man.
Everyone is going through some things, man. Everyone is going, even if they don't show up. Some people carry it well. Wengine hawajui kuwa inawagonga. So yeah. And then SADFA, even it was such the minimalist artwork. Everything was very came together in such. And then the show we did at Naitwaje place, Lavalate. That show. As much as it wasn't it was a show that it was a show. And then I did a small documentary that I still have from a guy who was at the show, shot a small documentary about our time in that period. So many things come out of a project. I think a project has a life of its own. Na inaendanga inafanya tu vitu zake.
Heavenly nikitema melanin inanena feminine wana mesa mejajina mafena mevajina majinja chevajina machina inezavia matima nachevadina na tinga anevalin nevalinga nimuliro mutinda.
And I actually felt like once we did, which was the last track?
It's old dots can be last.
Dots.
Vantage point
tulirecord mwisho.
Unaanganika ni dots.
Ni dots.
Tulifanya ama tulirecord parts zingine za dots.
Yeah, there was sections.
Because I remember the mixing. That's when you said, "Hey, you have to sit with me for this one here, man." So then it was like, it's a
adding what needs to be added, and we didn't know what, because we have different versions. Mine starts with Vantage Point. The ones which you have everywhere is Tra's version starts with dots. Sasa yangu wanza sababu wakusania hiyo. I'm like and that's why there's something I saw. Wait, G. This me, I think on my Bandcamp is my. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Okay. But what I have on my phone
ni Vantage Point
ile yangu ni na ile kwa the studio ni. I remember ukisema kwa Sanaa when you're reviewing it, Dots is long huku nyuma as a first song.
Yeah.
You see, as in, it's me. This was the last song. A new day for the ego.
Unamaliza? Kwako unamaliza.
Unajua? Namalizia namalizia. For the soul. I even wanted to be longer. Hii album tu ishe tu hivyo. Msaki sikiza hiyo kitu.
Sound way now the track. For me, let's start with that.
The track comes and goes like, no. This thing, it's the other way around. This is starting, as in the whole, it's a full flip. So actually the first one is the last evil. It's evil.
There's always that. There's always like you get the track and then be a black. Ndo yanze. I remember saying I pray. Ndo yanze.
Yeah. So which is what makes these projects just worth it to even us. Those kind of things make a project, because you know what you're hearing as a creator. you know how you'd like somebody to perceive what you just put together. So unachikivati mimi kwa ni pow. It starts, the hook ends pow. Track 1. Open doors.
Open doors.
Track 2. Hivyo.
Yeah,
It's a
different time, man.
unajua pia ukisikia ina make sense because inaanza slow and meditative and inamaliza na this vantage point fulani that sanaona vitu mingi from a vantage point.
Exactly. Sasa mimi hapa energy inakamilisha
imetulia. Mnaweza toa hiyo version pia. Mnaweza toa.
For me, and the story, and like someone has to pick a story from, even if it's not linear, but anyway.
And again, now that's the whole point of view. You connect the dot via
it just goes into it. Umeongelea performance at Lavalate. Mkitoa hiyo project your time, because earlier people mentioned you're still getting people talking about the project. We mentioned this is your entry point into having a relationship na Fanisi as well. What was the feedback mki-release your project at the time? People who are listening to it, as well as feedback mki-perform, now that we mentioned.
SADFA.
Yeah, SADFA. Mki-perform NSK, mki-perform Lavalate. Just the reception that we received from people who listened to the project. And then how people experience peer live.
I feel everyone has their own song.
Yeah.
Remember at the end of Fanisi, people are like, Aitoshi walai, Aitoshi. Everyone has their own connection. And that's the thing I like about also. I started appreciating about where I am as an artist. I used to think it was a bad thing to have everyone connect with your song at a different point of your career. Like someone maybe had one song from Old Roads and thought this is now Tra. Then when they come, one expect. And then kuna mtu alisikizanga tu vida ya Aitoshi walai when you are promoting. They think, oh, this is the only jam this guy has. But at least they connected. Because I've seen some artists who are big. People don't show up because they know their music. They show up because they know their fame. And then at the end, there's no connection between the music. Sometimes I look in the crowd and I'm seeing someone like you rapping some lyrics. I'm seeing someone else rapping. So I'm like, oh, everyone has connected on something. Like, but unapata some people, they're just famous. And it's not the music that made them famous. It's their online personality. It might be something they did, but I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. So there's a good thing in that. But also, kurudisha tu nyuma, there's this thing, Elzai, when they did that project with Georgia and Maldro, and Georgia was asking him, where do you get these rhymes? And he was like, it's what we talk about. Where else would I talk about taxes in Hearts, It's the conversations we have. It might even be something Black alisawa alisema, but sometimes I even remember too deeply. I'll go read too much into the situation, pick it up, and then it'll come back as one back. So like, yeah, the whole thing is, I think it's a conversation. Yeah, it's a conversation with the audience. There has to be some, even if you don't like it. Like now there's this song, Hattery on Malizaro too.
Sure.
I didn't want that song to come out after I heard it. I was like, maybe this is just my personal song. But there are people who stop me and be like, yo, that thing spoke. What's going on there? Like, there's some guy who's like, Baka leo anambia, bado I haven't found it. And I see him sharing it on the stories, on his anaendesha tu gari ameweka hapo Hattery. He's playing that jam over and over. And I remember that beat ilikuja sijui saa 9 usiku. And then
we have I think on my IG there is a clip of, so whenever I put the camera in the stool at night and I'm like, actually let me catch a groove with this thing.
Andika, so and I mean that time I was reading poetry. I'm still like being fascinated by poetry and like where it gives you like you enter a poem and by the time you talk at the last part you have nothing to grasp on and say, oh, this is who I am, this is what life is. So it makes you like start life again. So, and I feel like Hattery was me attempting, like, die and be born in a verse,
And it was the last thing, right?
Yeah, it was
the last thing on Maliza Roho.
Even
In a sound kama, every time I find the meaning of life,
Oh, they change it. Yeah, and there are people, like, yesterday I was playing at Move Jazz, and there's this lady, she's called Michelle, I'm going, shout out to her, man. When I started reading poetry, I found her poems, and I thought this was a white woman somewhere in Sijuyaka, Minnesota. It's a Kenyan, amazing, and I'm like, the silence of what poetry is, it's not, to me, poetry is no longer spoken word. It's not something you should scream out there. It's something to sit with yourself. It's a very silent affair. And I feel even music can get there. It can be very silent. Like when Bado specifically about that mantra aspect, we tried to make some jump, but we just ended up having fun here with Black.
But it's great. Mantra, but that's mantra.
Yeah.
As there's a place he owns that in the studio. Whoever's worked with him on whatever capacity, unajua kuna hiyo, there's the mantra things. You guys, when you talk about tunasema about how people appreciate, you're just asking about how people have appreciated the work. The one I don't like at all, folks, first of all, a lot of people are reaching out about your project with lots of props. In Black as in there was lots of this respect for the work, but it was very private. Then I'm trying to DM, dude, hey, I'm loving whatever you're doing with this guy called Tra. Let's say maybe my South African folks, you guys, you're on a tip. And it's a lot of them, like, that's why I've always felt I really appreciate the people who appreciate the work loudly, because as we do. Kama kuna kazi umependa sana, you've seen I've been on Black Odyssey like crazy. I don't care or anything, but push the project like it's mine. Or just you share. If you really, really felt it touch somewhere, it's good to just...
There's that. Because I remember there was a magazine on online, I don't know, I won't mention the name, but they were like giving likes, like, bigger. But I was so I DM'd them. I got, because Black kept saying, what is this thing where people are just DMing but not like...
There's a lot of DMing.
So, but like,
they
want to like it privately. They're like, oh. So I remember that time, as in I felt Black's pain. I actually just... They were just like liking them privately and not doing...
Folks, listen.
Like you're writing reviews about other things. So I actually confronted them. I was like, why are you... And then the guy was like, so the next 2 days later, very detailed review. Like, it takes some like... So it kind of feels fake, but when it comes, it's like, okay, it's like I forced you now to like me. I was just wondering, what's this? I don't know what people are scared of. I've always felt that in like my career of like there's always an element of like you want to be in certain spaces, but then now I've seen it as redirection as well. When I actually go to those spaces, I'm like, oh, there's a reason I wasn't supposed to be here. It's okay to just be with...
the industry.
Yeah, you're not for everyone, man. You're not for everyone.
And me and you, actually, that's the first time wait. I'm the one who buys any projects you have first. As in a bag. We release a project TV. Kwanza najilipa.
No, nangamu kwa Bandcamp, nanga profile zenyu menua projects.
As in, you buy, it's me. It's, umejinunulia project. Na sio ati $10 ama, disclosed bills. As in, like it's mine. And I don't think I'd really care if anybody else did. Just have a project, promo, kidogo, and I'm like, okay, I don't really want to pant about this. I have the dilemma of once you come out, imeshabandikwa hivi cover na imeenda, dude, I'm worn out. Guys, mixing and mastering is, that's why these labels have, it's too much to the mixing, but us, we are so expressive with what we do, like it has to come from just us. Even the tone of the project you want, not necessarily unataka mtu ende hapa to make it bang. You end up atole some dirt you had added.
The other day, so they were using SADFA as some guy in a big ass studio. He tagged me, it's like using SADFA as a reference point for our next project, and they're playing the meaning, and I'm like, Jaja.
It's so important.
But it's true.
It's pretty important, especially for that part. Even other creators, we just think it's pretty important for folks to be able to complete the idea. I can imagine if it was a well-rounded, big hi-fi sounding project, it would have taken off the meaning from there was grit, there was a sluggish, unsure kind of output. I was unsure, is it too static? Is it ukisikia kitu kama
the meaning or
no, not the meaning. What is it? This one, Mushina shot.
Open doors.
Not open doors.
Haitoshi.
Open the other side.
The other side.
Oh, the other
Actually,
side.
come on the other side, we have the very melodic tra at the end. Not so sure if we'd want people to hear it, but we love it. Jaja, open doors, to come on, to go.
It's Nini. And my guys keep going in the sun. In the night we
So that's like transforming.
Yeah.
We were not so sure if this would be proper to put for people out there, but us, we were wilding about that shit. It was giving
crazy.
It was. I remember sending it to Trace like, now what the fuck is this?
The other side is a beautiful track.
And it's working with these vocals, trying to really make sure they really express what is. It's completing a project basically because it's already put the words. Now it's just making sure the end consumer can be with it. Now it sounds exactly like that time.
Another fun fact: the other side was the first track I ever featured kwa Mziki ya Wiki.
Oh,
on the blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tukiongelea those videos from the project, kuna 5 videos. Dots, the other side, Haitoshi Wailai, the meaning, na open doors. So mnaweza tuambia kuhusu kimo cha papa and the visual direction that
tuanzie kwa Monsoon Studios. Shout out to Mushina for
abstract.
Yeah. That's abstract, maze. Monsoon Studios, first of all, it's trust peeps and mutual respect they got for each other's craft. And most of the projects I found, we normally reach out. He normally hears the sketches before anybody.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this is like where I stay, there was a guy who had bought an apartment and turned it into a studio, and Mushina was coming there working on his own stuff. So there's a day he came to the house when Open Doors was out, really raw and mastered. Akaniambia tu, nilikuwa hapa down. And I was like, let me say hi. So I'm like, in your kitchen, let's have tea. And I'm like, me and Black have started on something. And as soon as that, I just saw his face. He was like, usicheze mtu mwingine hivi. That's I like when he says that. He's like, no one else should hear this song. Send it to me. And then...
And do you know what that means, Joe, to a creator? As in, somebody has seen this and known, as in, I can actually visually present this. I like that sense of ownership when it comes to visual artists. Yeah, when somebody... And Mushina, when it comes to music, is the only one. I know besides the other things we do on the side, is the only one I know has really because he's done a bunch of amazing. Open Doors was a crazy video, G. Open Doors was that time. Ukiangalia tu sahi.
Na hiyo footage.
Zeitgeist. It's
where mlipull from.
And it was like, I remember there's a chair I have in the house. We carried that chair all the way to the rooftop, just the two of us. It was a cold morning. So we're just looking at the house, go like, oh, yo, miniam, to baby, yo. This
super creative, dude. Super
like,
creative.
oh, yo, blankety, go do this. I'm like, okay, I'm just listening. But you don't know what's going to happen. The other side, the same. He sends me this like treatments in a very, that's why I like working. Everyone I know who I work with has a very meticulous approach to their craft. If it's Black with the beats, Mushinal sends me these treatments. They are done so beautiful. Even just the way they look, you just stare at them. You're like, okay. So the other side, he sends me pictures. So he had asked me to look for like flowers, and so I didn't even know how I'll find these things. He wanted us to do like create a shrine in the house. So
Can you hear me from the other side? Can you hear me from the other side? Hello? 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 Can you hear me from the other side? Can you hear me from the other side?
I think he wanted to like
Shrine,
create a
but-
shrine or a portal, and then we got shout out to Zilo alienda home kwao because her home is near a place. She came back with like a small TV. We put it in. We recreated the whole house, shifted because we had nothing. So me, I didn't know what we were gonna make. How itatokeaje. And then he wanted some plants. So I was doing another job with Goofy. We went to this studio somewhere in this rich estate, and then we found them there like cleaning their garden. They're like, everyone, chukweni maua mwende nazo. So I came back to the house. I'm like, Mishina, you told me some days ago that you needed plants. Nimeenda huku mama wa shamba ameniambia naweza beba maua. So I come with like whole, like, dude.
How things work,
And I'm
Manzi.
like, what the hell?
How
And
things
then
work.
now when the video came out, the other side, that video, me, I didn't like it. For such a long
Me, I
time.
didn't understand.
But then, dude,
After a while, you're like, hey, Manzi, mad respect to the creators. After a while is when you keep looking, you're like,
dude, one day he hit.
Videos are so the idea of the child, all of the ideas ilikuwa za abstract. Cartoons kwa the video,
So he-
wewe ku face the other side
I knew basic, but
and
there's
playing
a
with the
way-
colors.
There's a way. So even the Tom and Jerry thing that's going on with the mouth, so you like falling in love with something that wants to eat you or something, something that. But now one day I watched it, and I was like, oh, there's so many beautiful layers to this.
even that tone,
The tone of the video itself,
Yes.
the color grading, and that's where I'm like, as we write bars, but Mushina has taken it to a whole other level. It's like he's sending a very clear, and he doesn't want to compromise. He doesn't want to change, and I think that's like, as a creative, just knowing exactly what you want to do is amazing. And I think he's always had that.
Nini li shift ndio ukapenda the video afterwards, and how long did that take?
I guess it's just siko hapo, like nakumbuka what.
Hey guys, sorry about this.
Black ni sawa.
Nikaa nini nakumbuka. There's some songs I used to listen to when I used to call myself a hip hop head. Never used to understand. I couldn't understand Coldplay. I used to think it was just chaos because me nataka bars. But then it reaches a point you're like, oh shit, this Coldplay niggas be spitting raps even more deeper than rappers sometimes. I think
It's an easy road to Rome.
it was all yellow. Like all those things. It just reaches a point you're like, oh man. You can only meet people where they have met themselves. So Mimi had not
That's a bar.
had not met Mushina.
bar.
Sikuwa naelewa. So it takes time sometimes, and I feel that's for anything you're doing, your art. takes time, man. Takes time for like someone to come and one day be like, oh, this is just not noise. There's actually something. And I think that's the beauty of like creating timeless stuff. Because sisi hatusemangi ni 2020. You already know
this
who
is
it
what's
is. It's your boy.
It's your boy.
We don't start our songs again like it's about that time. 2020 pandemic about to go down. We don't do. You can listen to the other side and think it's about whatever. Even Open Doors. Unaweza isikiza, it has the pandemic context, but you can still find something.
It's a love letter.
Yeah.
It's so many
It's not
layers.
dated. It's not dated. The meaning, you can still listen to it. Dots. You don't need.
Ulikuwa na input as far as the footage that was chosen for Open Doors?
I knew Basquiat was an inspiration. That's the whole part. Like Basquiat used to do this thing where he would erase things and then they would change the meaning. Like, so the newspapers, you cut off and then you change the whole story. And then the thing used to say, all kings' heads have to be cut. So like he gave me the whole idea of like, But now the attire, the only thing I did most was the attire, the combs and everything. But for Mushina, all props to him. All props. I didn't do anything.
He's a busy dude right now. But when it eases down and you got shit going on, it's always a fast.
Na mkifanya haitoshi hiyo place ile ulishia na hii ulifanya how long after create the after kwenda huko rather a few weeks
shout out to this beautiful lady. The other day I saw she took a bus all the way to South Africa and came back and documented the whole trip. She's called Muvanda Gloria. She's the one who showed us that venue. It was in like a hata sijui koni wapi. And then tukafika hapo, we found it is a place owned by this family. It used to be a bar. So it has plants inside, but then it has disco globes. So it just looks like some alien space. I was like, what is this? And then so the guy, tukakana hapo wakatuambia tukae chini kama wazee. And then they're like, what are you gonna give us if we give you this space? So tunafikiria do, and then they brought up something about fluoride water in Nakuru and how it has... I don't know what was going down during lockdown, bro. People unakumbuka ikianza wasi wakiiba tissue paper, man. People didn't know what was going on, and I think
chaos.
I don't know why didn't have
people don't know
footage
what's
at
going on
Carrefour.
still.
I remember somebody pushing 2 trolleys. As in,
kuna wasi walikuwa wamevaa zile mavitu za welding kama mask, wanatembea nazo wanasema wamejipa. Alafu ile 6 feet, as in science was supposed to be the most intelligent. Look back on how science made people look crazy. But anyway, we had a very interesting conversation. Wakatuambia, hii ni wasanii tu, you can use the venue. And then I think we also shot a little video for Vantage Point. I don't know where it went. So yeah, there's that.
As far as
a short Vantage Point.
I shot a short clip. And then I don't know it ended up. Mishina shot just one verse, but the song wasn't finished.
Okay.
And then I don't know where it went, but it was just like I still have the B-rolls for Vantage Point.
As far as the meaning, na wewe ku break your period of eating healthy, na the spontaneous dots, where mliko mahali kwa barabara, mka have kusimama, the video that Tra anasema tuli hate on. What was the context for those 2 videos?
The meaning started with a meme. It's a meme I showed Blaq. And Blaq was like, that's it.
No, kimocha papa. Now to break it down. Because just out of respect, pia ya Sanaa kwa sana. Officially, Kimocha Papa Initiatives is a character we got going on with myself and Tra. So it's the concept we have around it is no thought. As in there's no
really execution.
It's ndioi na kama tumeka hapa and we got that camera running we got a video.
Shout out to Blaq, man.
As in we don't there's no treatment, there's no Ndio camera. When we were doing the video for Dots is us coming from LD.
Ulikuwa na sword kwa gari.
Sasa mimi gari na kuaga na sword. Hiyo sword uka hapo. I do night travels. If I'm not allowed to own a gun, I can keep a sword. When these guys come through, at least ni just kupatikana tu hivyo ndeze. I keep a sword.
Yeah.
I keep a sword. They normally ask me the car. Hii hapa sasa naambia wewe utatembeaje kutoka hapa mpaka Nanyuki usiku na
Hivyo.
no, it's there. Sio illegal. So it stays there and
So umetoka LD.
Tumetoka LD. If there's something most people maybe don't notice, some year I have a change of clothes. Like I taken Tra. There's something I was shooting.
Yeah.
There was an activation. So I was Tra. Hapo I have a small piece your side. So I'm like, hey Tra niaje. Hebu tuende hivi turudi. So on our way back after shooting that thing, there's this nice forest there. I get out. Now Troy is just in his shorts and it's just one of the regular days. There's a change up of clothes.
Barabara.
Why hizo tuingie tutajulia ndani hata kapolisi akakai mbaya. Station a camera a concept comes about of let's just station a camera and shoot it. We'll think about editing later. When through editing is another 31 hours of just putting things together and cutting. You look at it, you're like, there is a cool video. It can go. Color grade kishenzi tu hapo. Later I'm like, fuck, should have taken time to make it.
But then also,
I love that video.
The aspect ratio, how it kept messing us up every time we try to upload.
Yeah.
It would stretch.
It would stretch the video. Like,
So you're just, but it was so much fun, man. It was, and then to me, the only thing I'd say that connects is that time I was into that Oshun Ogun stuff. I was just researching.
I was literally about to ask that.
Yeah,
I don't get back to the meaning and the imagery of the video, or even concepts that Mushinali tumia kwa the other side. Whether kuna any point conversation amongst yourselves, will the audience get the reference, the imagery, the storyline? None of that even.
Me first of all, Mushina's work muiona when it's just going to get uploaded. And I like that. I like
Mushina sent and Blaq now
checky.
You gonna play Oshun na Ogun.
Yeah, so like I remember I was saying to Joe Ogun was he's in Nigeria in charge of the metal crafting. So when you had the sword, I was like, hey, Ogun has come through, man. Because I've never wielded a weapon in my, except for another freestyle there, where I had a gun and nikapigiwa na mama yangu. Delete. I have to check the constitution to know if it's legal to wield a weapon. I'm like, no, it's just a video. No, what is that? So, but we talked about it. But anyway, so the thing is just we are having so much like
Kimo Chapap is a meme.
It's a meme.
The meaning.
Yeah,
the meaning is a meme of mtu alikuwa ametolea mkono. It's the cheapest video we've had of because it was one sheet. They're right there. We even have the leftover sheet.
Bought those Manila paper. Blaq set them up.
Bought a bunch of junk food.
Bought a junk food. And the whole idea was also, later, it was like people living hand to mouth, you know? Hand to mouth living. That was a real situation. And that's how, you're just living your life. Unaendelea tu, whether you're smoking, drinking, eating, it's still hand to mouth, trying to figure out.
But your constipation ya siku tatu.
Direction yake ni
kula tu chapo, kuku, popcorn zote.
Veve katikati kule hiyo kitu look like umeyuma kabisa mesa.
Natry kufanya sijui cleansing.
Alafu kwa hiyo ngoma kwa verse unaongelea Whole Foods na muesli.
But
What's the video?
Also to a lot of people,
Yo.
as in, I'm here to just consume. There was the consumer element. So we just, and these are things we are thinking as we go.
Yeah, you even said that for the description of the video.
Oh, the consumer
consumerism,
society demands variety and stuff.
so yeah, also there's that Black has has this like verses he had.
To haikus tu hapo
To
tunakuwa.
haikus that they found life through Kimochap. We wanted to create a whole entity for Kimochap.
Papa.
So it's like initiative, do something, do something. Na imewaka. It came also through for Rafiki Pesa,
Maliza Roho.
all those things.
Yeah, creative videos. We mentioned Zilo earlier with reference to Haitoshi Walai na the other side as well. Unaweza tupatia context ya hiyo piece ile mlitumia kwa Zilo's Heaven, that
So Zilo,
decade old piece?
yeah, she's
That's a major contributor. First of all, shout out to Zilo. She's the one who closes the projects. The artworks are done by by Zilo.
The idea ya hiyo piece and vile ili fit into.
No, she used to, she's like the third slum queen.
Si fourth?
Maybe fourth. Who knows? Acha nisi. Okay. Sawa. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sikumaanisha. You're right. I'm sure I'm wrong. She's fourth. I'm sure you know. Okay, she was there when slum was started. So one day I'm asking her, say, read your poetry. She's like, they're in the email there, but she gets like excited. She's like, I also used to have bars. So I'm like, okay, then read them. So she was reading, I was like, oh, that one is kind of interesting. So I was like, okay, one day to find a home. And then when Black, I don't know what happened exactly, but Black I think we wanted to have my mom. Because she also used to write poetry, but she kind of got jittery about it. And then Zilo came through just in her own way. And then also the artworks, I usually just come up with an idea. Watu wanafikirianga tu, dude, nimefunzwa naambiwa send a brief. So you have to also send the color palette. If you see the messages I send, I have to find like something I'm trying to get from. If it's just blacks and whites, if it's a minimal aspect. So I think I like how all those collaborations zilianza kuwa, like there's Black there, there's Ushina. So it's a whole like
it's seamless in its own way.
So when the music comes, all those things sometimes become very easy. When the music is coming from a very like true place, all those things, because that's how I met Abstract Ushina with Equal or Knockout Law. He just had a verse I thought that was too cryptic. He was the first person who understood it and said, I have an idea for this. And he was actually begging me to shoot, not that it was the other way around. He was like, can I do something for... And then that's why it took create a relationship. And he used to be...
He's also
a battler. He's a proper battler back in the day.
Lethal.
Yeah, so walienda mpaka hizo finals, the one I think Calligraph won or something, but Lethal was dynamic. When no one was rapping like Aesop Rock,
hata mko na track pamoja.
Unaona? Yeah, so mimi nikipata naye nilikuwa nataka kutangaza verse. So the song with me, okay.
Zini wewe yenda harili.
Plucked Angels. Oh yeah, that's what? Yo.
No, but hey, shout out to that. These are V2, and also we really love the Kimochapapa initiatives. There's the others. There's Goofy. There's contributors of visuals, and just based on the fact they love the work. This is never really transactional work. It's when other creators go like, hey, I'd like
something
on this. I'd like to do something on this.
It's beautiful when art is seamless hivyo na people are just vibing and connecting, because even kwa our interview na Unganisha walisema ile point wamefika, they're only working with people who want to work with them. And that's they're not chasing anyone for anything. You want to work with us, we want to work with you, let's just make things happen.
It's cool. So which videos we have? Dots, we have
the meaning,
the other side, open doors,
Haitoshi
Walai. So what we didn't have videos for was
Zillows na
Zillow's point na
Zillows have Connie's move mulina mutindo
Black ameshafunga
kuongelea vantage point. That's the song that ikikaribia kuisha una introduce the idea of harnessing, which ulikuwa umeintroduce publicly at least mara ya kwanza kwa One Track Minded at the Gute performance which will happen in March. And that was the idea of harnessing.
So even iko kwa the other side.
Okay, please one day ukikaa tu umeboeka mbaya.
Nifanye nini?
Andika tu ka spreadsheet ka hizi dates na references.
Nikupatie.
Yani tu me, I didn't know we are third year of this thing. Zero idea
at all.
So yeah, honest power, honest love, honest truth. I think kwa Gote ili happen and then lockdown ika happen. And nakumbuka people DMing me and saying, you are the last people we saw before this thing happened, and you left us with a message of harnessing, and I've been using that till now. So kulikuwa nakumbuka time years before SADFA itoke, people walikuwa nafikiria kuna kitu tunadu. Also there was that vibe. I think kina Romeo walikuwa wametoa antidote. Ilitoka
before.
Yeah, so kuna
just before SADFA.
Ilikuwa just 2 months hivi. Because that ilitoka June.
I kind of got the vibe people were thinking si tumekaa tu.
Unajua pia you had released Maliza Roho the EP the previous year in Jan, so ilikuwa ni kama kuna this period of time.
I remember this.
And then you had also done Kovu Challenge, which was big.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good.
Dude, I was doing Kovu Challenge. I was shooting with Improve like every week.
Yeah. I'll tell you something weird that happened around that time when we were doing this project. See, COVID comes in around January.
March.
Around January.
The actual December, Jan.
December, I think I had.
You got it before the.
I really think I had COVID.
Oh, I get you.
So December, I'm dying in the flat. Me, Chris, kona kunyushwa uji na neighbor. Christmas Day, I had porridge.
I remember calling the video call.
I was like, Black. Hosina niambia nini? And this is the weird thing. There's a lady I was seeing that time, and she was in the UK. And I remember, and I'm sure she can attest to this. I remember going like, you know what? This is in November. She's coming for holiday in December. I'm telling her, you know what? I actually want to start wearing masks. Please. She's like, now where am I going to get these masks? I'm like, please get me these masks. Na naingia kwa Alibaba. If there's anything you can niletea tu hizi masks. Nachiki zile zilikuwa na kanini hapa. I want to start. I had sold my car. So nikaanza kutumia ma3. Sasa hiyo mwezi nikitumia ma3, I was going through it a little bit earlier that when we were doing Maliza Roho, the EP.
Crazy time, man.
I've gone through it. I've got fire. It's so many crazy things going on. Ipaluko at your bottom kabisa. And then now December ndio niko hiyo nini imenishika mbaya, I'm just fucked. And I'm like, I go to the hospital and go, this is not a bacteria, it's not a virus, we don't know what it is, but please have hizi madawa. Hosi zote I'm like, what do you mean? After I'm being taken by my neighbor, I'm like, I'm sleeping on the floor. So hapo nikafanya some offering the house, or this thing of you do clear forward take things. And now January, February, March. After 2 months, somebody take the sofa, somebody the fridge. January, February, March. Dude, I'm killing the grind. You know what I mean?
Tulikuja place yako March.
As in, your time, December, nikona deni kwa Masai. Ya zinaitwa fegi, unajua fegi zangu na KDF. Like Buddha, as in going through it. Then January, February, wow. You're this very sourced creative director, as in you're getting these crazy short contracts, 2-week contracts. You a bag. So, fixed a few things, opened a few things. After kifungiwa hivi lockdown, pockets are full. You know what I mean? As in, there's a bag. So nakona shindwa. Aya. So umefungiwa and you can't. And I took it as a time to really think, to really see this past 1 year, how it's been like. It was a reflection time for me. That's why I'm bringing this thing up. I'm like, half of that end of the world thing to me. Somewhere, it was lacking somewhere. Like, so I said, forget about these things, do too few investments, stay in the house, and actually look within. Look at thy father. You know what I mean? Like, look within. Those are transports. I'm sitting. I'm really reflecting on. I have very little recollection of the music being made. So bilikuwa nile a lot of you in your head a lot, really checking things and really talking to God, or quietly, like japa tuko saying what needs to be done here, what needs to be fixed, what needs to. And the COVID ended. That brings even to the thing of the meaning. When Tra showed me that meme of delay end up, for myself, I'm like, what if this can be mad consumption because it's what? And him is also on the same wavelength. People are the meaning of why people, many people have here and they don't know is to be able to consume as much. So umepata hii. Kwa hivyo, actually what you needed is to consume more. You got what you have so that you consume.
Uweze kuconsume.
Anza chuna hii. And that actually is the whole thing about a very important video to us.
Yeah, it's the very
important.
Some people were laughing, some people were like amazing. It had all this reactions rather than deep contemplation. It had all like wonder, it had it had all those types of
How did you guys do it? So is this masking? Hey man, say, and then did you mask the hand? Okay guys, quit the technicalities.
I just remember someone saying, "Oh, this is the best thing I've seen today." I'm like, cool, that's dope. I want such soft comments.
Buddha mimi kwa comment mzito.
Niambie tu, I love it. I love it, and I'm gonna share with my friends. And I remember kina just a band, Blinky, they came. Yeah, so even when I met Blinky, I remember I was like funny, and he's also funny. So I'm like, okay, cool, dope. Someone is listening.
Say hold up, wait a minute, let me put some sweat quick soul up in it. Tell me hold up, wait a minute, let me put some sweat quick soul up in it. Say hold up, wait a minute, let me put some sweat quick soul up in it. Tell me hold up, wait a minute, let me put some sweat quick soul up in it. I'm here.
That specific video to me, it really spoke to me. So I've even try saying there's that quote in Litwapo, it's from old haikus I was writing. I used to write also these 6. So that one used to go like, the consumer society demands variety. And this show comes to you and yours from an exploratory point of view in a venue near you, most probably soon. that's kitu niliandika kitambo, maybe 2004 2003. Alafu nimeweka hapo, you can see like, as in I know it, ni kitu the consumer society, and I'm like, damn man, you're trying to also talk to yourself, please, right now kuna kabag and there's a crisis. You can't be a consumer. So out of that, there was ndo tuliza kuinvest in mkahawa, as in nini, car wash, butchery, as in things that can, and hire the locals who didn't have anything to do around that time to actually take care of those businesses.
And that's an interesting concept, that ni anti-consumerism.
Yes.
Lakini pia you need to consume and feed yourself to survive through this period of time. So kuna these things that ziko entangled pamoja.
Big time. You're like let's say you got 500 G's right now umefungiwa. You're like, how could I make this worth it, not just for myself? Because I mean, it was deep. Those businesses shut down. After the but I feel nothing. Because I kind of understood what it was for. So my hiring thing was like, you have to be a single mother who doesn't have. You need to that was the interview, when you come for the interview for the jobs. That was the prerequisite. You can learn through here and take care of it yourself. Mimi nipatie ushuru, you take care of yourself. For most of them, you can enable just to get out of context, but that's exactly what the meaning to me was. So some of these tracks talk to you even as the creator. They kind of direct your where you need to go and how you really need to think. Sometimes you go check out for, what do you call it, a psychologist, a therapist, to give you direction, a friend, a parent. But mostly it's for us, and it has a lot to do with the music.
The music, the art.
Yeah, Maliza Rojo, the song itself. Tra don't like performing that song. As in, got over it. Mimi, he knows what that song means to me. Don't even know. There's
valleys and roads. You've been through valleys and roads with that song. You're done. Na kwa the meaning kwa description umesema, the thing that you altered sasa ni uliongeza coming to a venue, not probably soon because of context ya COVID na pandemic na isolation.
You get it. Those are the nuances.
Kuka indoors. Iyo line, to get into some quotes, life is for the living. Ka hauponi. What's the meaning? Any context to it?
It's a question. It's not even a line. That's why there's in the way out, I say I like songs that ask questions.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to tell you.
Like questions.
I'm not telling you. I'm also asking, as you say, when I'm writing these things, there are sometimes things that I'm contemplating. I have not finalized. Like, sijafika to the end of it, and I'm now telling you, even your mambo iko. And someone alisikia hiyo line akasema ni kaa hauoni. Life is for the living. Kaa hauoni. What's the meaning? I'm like, that also makes sense. I'm like, that's dope that you had it that way. And then I even say, mi najua mi sijui. You know, like, it's like, I don't know. I know I don't know.
I know I don't know.
Yeah.
Mi najua mi
I think it's also
I
need
know I
to
don't.
not be preachy.
Yeah.
Well,
there's
I
that.
don't know. So there's the folks who probably on his capacity of writing who feel like, hey, manze, I need to tell these people something.
Kuna kweli capacity track. Is there anyone kuna msee kwa Yakaliba?
But people who can really sway around words. People who really know how to work with words. Mtu angekuwa na joy kota ni wapi hata nje, somebody who really good with words and being able to put a thought forth. Most of them end up becoming very preachy. As in ile. So you try maswali leaves you in a nice place even as somebody think about it.
Yeah, and then also that song just it gonna so many scenarios. You know, every bar is like it's a scenario. Every line is like, how does it start?
Na let the ruler flow majestic. Uliza soul na bado huko kwa guest
and you
list.
can see it happening. I'm saying wingy. You know, it's like, it's just scenarios, you know. Ascend and send the pain.
I love
you know?
that line.
Dude.
I love that line.
No, just
ascend and send the pain.
Where are you right now?
Yo, that's yo. Shade na Kajanin.
Akenda kusikiza Kajanin because of that line from your
Mosoti.
And I was like,
ascend and send the pin.
Oh my God. I really love that. I love that.
See, yo, sasa slaps me today. Today.
One of my favorite lines for your project.
Like
ascend
all those things are scenarios. They're just
Troubadour best beats.
Now it can be troubadour, it can be true.
Yeah.
We're walking around. We're just, it's just, it's just, and it's because of it has to be blacks. I can't say that on someone else's.
Co-production in
It has to feel that way, and then when a black tells you know.
You're welcome, Black. 3 years later, that's how your buzz in age vizuri. Your buzz are aging well. Hata your own producer.
Why should we release? Little brother was saying,
come on, buzz. 3 years ago.
Still keep the listening, man. Indo utaanza nao video. Usiweke hapa scandalous. Why kujua? Like as you part naongea juu ya nini? Anza na hiyo.
Send the pin.
Exactly.
Hey, motherfuckers out here is stingy. That's what you gotta do.
That's what you gotta do. You figure out
and send the pin.
out some shit. Tell us.
Yo.
I say it, but
you know the song.
You don't. Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Now, you're the contested one. Induce the magic, reduce the baggage.
The magic. Now,
any muktadha hapo with that one? The magic, reduce the baggage. Reduce the baggage.
That was for me as well. I think there are people who I used to speak to. I lost friends, man. We should have a friendship breakup.
You had those?
Yeah, I saw someone wrote an article where they called all the friends and asked them why they don't talk. Friendship breakups are so hard. There are people, when lockdown happened, I was friends with. By now, I don't even know them. So, like, I remember just wondering what went wrong, you know? So, like, yeah, I think that induced the magic, reduced the baggage is trying to, like, it's the thing about that, like, just allow yourself to let go of things. I think that's my hardest. It's like a gift and a curse. Like, it creates art, but then at the same time, it's that thing called Chris Semanga. The person who listens might even get healed quicker than
mimi mwenye bado naipitia na naandika kuhusu.
Yeah, so you're listening and then you get the bind, it relieves you of all your things.
Bado.
But you're still like holding on to it. You're like, oh, why did this person do this and why did they say that? And you know, like those things. So like you just induce the magic, reduce the baggage. And then it's also just for the people I was seeing what they were going through. Like, I remember even like family, we never used to like meet sometime, but during lockdown we could do video calls and everyone would come in, and because there's no awkwardness, you can say whatever you want to say now, because now you're all in different places, so there was a blessing and a curse, so you're like distance, because now you can, there's so many things, so like I was just, use the magic. It's a good mantra to have. You know what I learned? Psalms, the Bible. Psalms means mantra. Like Psalms chapter 1. That's a book it's a book of mantras. The best mantra there is be still and know that I am God.
When you had zile,
you're the one who carried the induce. Uko na baggage reduce. Uja-induce magis.
Niko na the show at Cheche.
When I love
Niko na
Cheche
hiyo
show was when we did
Manila
it, we were
paper
talking
piece.
as well and coming up with ideas. And then I was like, oh, what if we do a protest show where people are protesting in the show, maybe even protesting me being there. And then then you look like, let's put the lyrics. And then just the morning before the show, I'm bugging Zilo. I'm like, yeah, the papers, do. And she's just there. She's like, yeah.
Umempatia baggage.
She's like, another one, say another lyric. Shout out.
Shout out to
Bamba Zen in Zilo's side.
She comes through.
Even when we shot videos, I remember when we shot his park in the bookstore, I think we had forgotten some stuff. And she had errands to run, but I was like, could you pass and let her? Dude, she showed up with the clothes and the headphones we had to use. The wireless. So like,
you like people. Hey, manze, you like people who really see the need and not even question around it, as in really fully understand. So our major me, I wouldn't think of anywhere else. If we have any other collaborative track that you're going to get the visuals from, even if they are ill. There's a way she does it, and then after a while, some of these things, like I'm pretty slow when it comes to digesting some things or interpreting them. Like SADFA did get.
Ascend and send the pin.
The lines. Ascend. But when you look at it, the whole constellation, there's a certain way Tra put forth that idea to me, and I can't see any other cover for SADFA. Not any other. And me, this I don't question. It's the ones you just see and go like, could have gotten Ila.
Yeah.
But
and then
after a while you're like, what Ila? This is it. This is it. Utakuwa na kitu kingine around it. The Maliza Raw covers. And right on even the back of your head unaziangalia tu unasema, right? And
Telos, cover tell yo.
What is Telos covers?
Yo.
You wish also the people on the other side would really understand the kind of inspiration and drive, or just inspiration, the other creators of these projects go through. Like even when you look at the Wu-Tang logo here, DJ Mathematics coming up with that thing.
Whoa. For the children.
Yeah, man.
Being able to transcend culture even.
Yeah, Maliza Road too. Is it technology? But yeah,
it's for the children.
It's peace sign, the original peace sign, you know what I'm saying?
And also it's done.
Yeah, it's peace, I'm out. It's peace. It's peace, I'm out. Peace. I'm out. It's true. Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah, that's the kinetic peace sign, man.
Nini, for if you're a dime, you show it, or the fine.
Oh, if you're a dime, you show it, all the fine you for it.
And even that, in aspect to what you were saying earlier, kuhusu how will you deliver and your enunciation, because those two lines, they almost sound the same.
Yeah.
Because I gotta tell the stories that are fine, euphoric.
If you're a dime,
you show it,
and then
you're
it's also
fine,
that
euphoric.
time Black was going through a vocoder phase. Yeah, just remember everything. Run that vocoder. He was going through, he was having so much fun. And come back, everything I've said has been run through vocoders. Find that vocoder voice. So I think even that's why my voice is like the melodies. I'm trying to, because now when I understood what he was going for, I was like, oh, I think Andre does it in some songs. So I got it. Oh, it's kind of really a cool thing. It's not auto-tune.
Tools you come across.
Yeah.
That you go like really trying to look for, really trying to enhance your expression.
If you don't define yourself to do what, the world will tell you who you are. You don't know. Kituka hiyo. Someone. So, but then I think that verse also, that singing part is called a verse I had written something melodic.
Na ndo kunaongelea saa tools na wewe na vocoder na kupeleka voice.
I needed them from the mantra. We lacked them when we were doing. Me, like I told you, those little things I live off them. I actually need a third person in the studio to go like, leave this thing only 4 bars. So if I'm let alone to do that, to respect you, wimbo isikakue 17 minutes. Lakini mimi naweza yache.
Unaweza enda.
So I was looking for something, so a certain tool we can use so that we don't have it on a monotone as a backup. Yeah, and again we were lacking folks to come through and sing for us, and then people who really understand. We're just come wimbe because they have a good voice. You want somebody who really understands what exactly are you trying to say. What are you really saying? It's easy to call somebody come wimbe hapa hivi, but to get somebody who really understands how and to say it so that it has a level of conviction. Now, of course, so we got those tools. We got the vocoder tool, and I was like, this is it for Kwanzaa project. And we got a space for it. We got a space for it in what we do. Utaona ikificha a few places up and 2 snippets. Yeah.
Now I took a break from life just to find where the light goes.
I took a break from my life. I think
that's vantage point.
That's everyone took a break from their life. Just to find where the light goes. But yeah, vantage point. I don't remember how that song even came.
Well, let me to ask.
Descendant to a tribe called Quest.
And then the first verse is like Tango.
Hakuna ndege, it's just a flight of steps.
Kabla UK double O. So it is UK double O, and then there's a tribe called Quest. I think I was just trying to do the parallels of places maybe you could pull from.
Me, you know, I've always been curious about it. When you come up with this kind of phrases, sabu, it was going to be something else if it was going to be one. Ni moja tu ama ingine, as in you're able to write or think or just have a stream of consciousness with. You can think you on an entire song. Those questions. Me, I've deducted from myself. It's knowing so much, and avoiding to be preachy. As in me, so you end up asking questions, but I still find that but I still find that lacking. As in, what do you derive this from? What is it that you're trying to aim at, or what is it that you're trying to avoid? But coming up,
where am I running
from? Yes. What is it? And there are many.
It's how we started. Like we started from battle rap, man, and then now you start realizing, your words affect people. Like there's a bar in Asora I once sijui nika kipofu akikuambia kupatia maoni. And then a mom had that. It was like, kipofu, but isn't that disrespectful to blind people? I was like, no, that's not me. I thought it was just a cool bar. But it's like, what do you mean? And the kipofu is kupatia maoni and things like that. So for me, it's just like I feel words have to do. That's why rappers tunaonanga tu wetu ni rapper. But dude, you make words do things that they can't do. Even when Black speaks for you, some of the things he's done, you're like, yo, that's crazy. But it's true also.
There's a certain epitome.
There's
not a battle rap itself. Fanya words, fanya things that you can never imagine possible.
And can I even share something with you? You might, right now, pick any trance track off the head and in a split second tell me if it's in Swahili or in English. It's, to me, imekuwaga ni shida. Okay, to me. As in, you have such a healthy balance of these languages.
Too much. Naanza kupika because what? Knows too much.
To me, nimepataga sometimes I have to remind myself that song was in your mixture. We see a lot of rappers do that, as in try, or especially if they're speaking Swahili or they're speaking Zulu, or Nameka Zulu, English, Zulu. You can see just trying to make it. But we tried imekuwa, it's so meshed in. I hardly get what language was mostly used in that song. Nasema hizo ni uhuru wa msanii, and it's mad. It's skill. There's a skill.
That's a dope name, Shani. Shani. That's a dope combination.
Mshairi na msanii.
Niyo Kiingereza hiyo. It's also near.
Kiingereza jidini kwa
it's also me. I don't understand. I can't say that there is a formula. It's also because I think unataka kuongea na watu, because it has to be a conversation. I'm always trying to, because sometimes you listen to people, they write bars, but you're like, where's the conversation in this song?
You see that comes actually to one of the answers of what I was asking.
Yeah, it has to, because
that's a proper answer to that actually. Where's the conversation in this rap? Because if it's preachy, you're just telling me things you know.
You can tell someone there, it's just like, I think also I'm very introverted, but in rap is where you can like now say some things like ideas where you might think they're like weird, you know. Tukipatana hadharani watu
Salams.
Sina, bro. After somebody Sina. Like, you know, like his part, the lines, you know, andam chicha. That's the chicha.
Ukipata mtoi?
Ukipata mwana we sana. Sitamweka kwa ngoma. Sitampicha.
Bado una plan in the same way that you want to explore kimo cha papa, but una plan to explore mantra, not the mantra.
Yeah, but I still need context and sound, and we've tried.
And life needs
and
to
life has to be lived. You can't just make music, because we've done some jams here, but sometimes when I listen, you're like, where is it coming from? Because I think if you know me, like projects you've listened, or Roads Lead Home, there's life being told there. Even if there's music, there's something. There's SADFA, there's something that has happened. Malizaro, there's always has to be like, without life.
Yeah, you're just going to put words up. Even me, when knocking the beats that were samples, as mentioned.
Yeah.
Life is for the living.
There's something has to change. Something has to give.
Kuna any changes that zili happen hiyo time ya COVID, personal na global, that you still feel are present kwa life yako sahi, or even in the globe currently?
Hey, gee, I'd say first of all, live within your means. No buying face. There's so many statements that were stamped by that era, and some stuff was weka aside. And also the basics as in knowing your people, and also really not taking life seriously, but being appreciative of it. We have to more not taking things for granted, Pierre. There's so much that was stamped for me that time, and I think you've picked them up and trying to live. Actually, death became. We always know it's inevitable, but wait. And this shit is wonder too evil. So I think for me, there's just some emphasis to things you've known but never taken them seriously.
Yes, man. Never take life seriously. Jana, this guy told me, I don't know which jazz artist was asked about music, and he said music is as serious as life. And like there's nothing more serious than life, but at the same time you can't live life, like seriously. But life happens. Like life moves. Nothing is happening. You know, nakunganika kitu watu husema tu siku hizi. Things are not happening to you, they're happening for you or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, kuna such a statement.
Yeah, watu husema all the time. But for me, it's also just return to what you know. When you're lost, back to basics. Like return to family, the basic. Me, that's what became like, or just things you know. Because life can get confusing, but we make life very complex. But life is very simple, man. Like you can eat, you can wake up, and then creating is a plus. Life is very simple if you just decide it to be that way. But we need it to be complex so that we can say, oh, we are intelligent creatures. Or So me, ni kujikumbusha. Not that I'm even there yet. But yeah, for me it's I return to simplicity whenever I can, and recognize what's in front of you. You may realize, Pierre, like I think maybe I told you last time, you carry all the wounds of the battles you avoid. Like if you can be confrontational about something.
Unapatia mse buzz.
These guys just say some things sometimes. What you talking about?
What you talking about? Of the battles you
The mantra.
That's also where I am, man.
Anazitupanga.
Yeah. Me, that's for I don't think nezonga juu ya mse mwingine. Let's talk about me. Like from my experience, I've realized, as difficult as it might be, there are some things that you just have to, like, those difficult conversations with a partner, with a friend, you have to have them sometimes, so that you move on to the next phase. Yeah, so...
A line that is akin to mi najua, mi sijui, and the sort of framework that umetumia, ni hii ni SADFA, hii si SADFA. And hiyo ni line pia that after the review, inabuka alikuwa katika sana kwa hiyo review ndio iongelee. Because iko na hizo layers pia, hii ni SADFA, ama hii si SADFA, ama hii ni SADFA, hii si SADFA.
Kitu ili happen, I think nimaliza roho the first, I played it for some guy, and he was like, you make sad songs. I'm like, sad songs? And I was like, I'm gonna make a sad project. A fool like me, sometimes I have this niambia, unakonga tu mse wa mama sijui nini deep thoughts. I'll make a song, and just for you. Like that's how like songs like Bembembe came out. It's just someone trying to tell you this is who you are. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not. So like, I think it said it in a very like disparaging way. And I was like, this is just a jam. I was just sharing with you, But then, people needed sad music at that point. People were sad. The whole world became sad, and then also sad for the coincidence of it all. And I think for me, coincidence is something I have always been fascinated by, like synchronicity, how things come together and then they make sense.
I'm glad you're getting into that because nikishare your sentiments on the concept of coincidence, but endelea kilikuwa nasema.
Yeah, even like how I wrote the band camp description, I said there are ears that ask questions and ears that give answers. And that's how it is. Some years you go and you can't find answers. You're just asking yourself things. And then there are years where you find answers to questions you asked like kitambo. And I feel like, SADFA was a point. I just liked how the word coincidence in Swahili has sad in it. Has sad in its mix. As if sadness is a bad thing. Like sadness is not. It's a thing like people get sad and people grieve. Once I went for a book reading and I just had this man poet talking about grief in the most like grief doesn't happen to them. I was like, why are you even pretending to be poets? You're just trying to show people you know things,
You hug.
You're intellectual, as in people like they see to discuss poetry. like, what the hell?
I had the guy at the farm, Sila there. He told me something just around that time that blew my mind, and I've tried to experiment with it now and again when it comes to my mind. It's like, suppose my guy lives simple, G. Doesn't know what politics is going on in the country, doesn't. I don't need to know those things. As long as my kids are eating, and I'm cool. And in the most basic and purest of thought, when you talk about that, watoto wamekula nini, I got something to do, I'm cool.
Sawa.
Anajamsha kata kayaba for nothing, like as in give nijipatie shughuli. So he was like, unajua mimi nasikianga watu wakisema waangalie, as in ona mbali, unajua kuangalia chini, nifanye kile nafaa kufanya, na nikiangalia juu ni asante Mungu.
Jajasha open doors hata kama tuko lockdown. Hata kama tuko lockdown. Tuko lockdown. Free your mind now. Manifest, free your mind now. Let me so fly. Free my heart. Jajasha open doors hata kama tuko lockdown. Kama tuko lockdown.
When you look forth greed, you see other people's things. But when you look down, you're able to appreciate what you have, and you're able to see the work you're doing. So his philosophy is look down while doing stuff, and look up when you're saying thank you to God. So it also gives you the thing of appreciating you woke up, the things we hardly thought. That was an interesting philosophy. It's an interesting touch on approaching life. So ukiangalia mbali, unashinda, like right now, we are just bills imeongezeka, so do more work. As in tuko hivi, it's you're forever on the grind, and it's grinding you. Kila tu hivi chini tu, unadedi tu kiasi.
Saga.
So I thought that's a useful philosophy. Sometimes when you think as in you're being too over ambitious, inakuwa ni fiti to pull back from, you're not really appreciating where you are right now. Your health is alright. You can pay this month's bill. It's called short-sightedness, but it's a means to survive right now and be grateful. Yeah, that's it. Nadhani kitu saa zingine nikiona you're being too grimy, just to narrow you down, as in you've been grimy with yourself. You're not sleeping enough, you're not eating well, you're unakimbiza. So and also I need to unplug now and again.
Big person.
I see Tra pulls those ones off. The unpluggings. This is our plugging from all this shit kidogo.
Uko ndo mantra zinatoka.
Uko ndo mantra got to it. Actively. Toka IG tweets. Toka social media. Checking what.
Ni ulikuwa off this past a week or two, si ndio?
As in I've been off for now 3 weeks. I normally do once a month. 1 week I make sure I don't have, but say narudi tena. Acha kwanza tu ni meditate kidogo, kula kidogo.
Uendele kuhide na kuka place.
Ile tukianza makiza roho, that idea we had of the longest trip you'll ever make is between your head and your heart. Back and forth. Distance ref kufika hii spark.
Yeah, spark. Hata ukiongelea grind, before to malize na the concept na thought ya coincidence, politics and your time ya COVID na pandemic, government imeka guidelines, imepenya directives fulani, my youth hawapendi police because all they do is harass. Hata kwa maliza roho, one of the sessions mliongelea dreadi na nywele na hii profiling that makarao uko nayo and the system and the weight of the system. As far as politics, police brutality during the pandemic, that was very, very huge. What were your experiences of the same year time? Kama ni kuona, kusikia, whatever, and how you interacted with those experiences or interpreted those stories?
I just remembered one day we were shooting something goofy, and then we used to wake up nenda Kikuyu, pitia hizo matope, so the car is brown, make equipment, unapick equipment down, and then you have to go tomboa hivi nyuma. So kuna ukara, I think he stopped me. Nimeamka 5, nimeshoot, it's like 3. And then he looked at me, just akona umse, neza msumbua. Kaingia kwa ndai. I don't know, that day I lost it, man. I just told him, I've done nothing. Not even in a bad way, but in the end, nikamwambia even our situation, we are in a pandemic. At the end, the guy just left me. Kwanza alisimamisha matatu, akambia, acheni huyo aende. But I tried to tell him, like, hey man, nini unafanya? Tuko in the same boat sahi. But yeah, like, I don't know. I was at a place the other day and told me, he was a very intelligent guy. He was like, the definition of politics is making the best out of any situation. Like, that's what politics was created to do. And we are not doing that. Like, people politic so that they can find interesting ways of finding solutions. So you put your heads together, you say, oh, you will do this, you will do that, you will do this, and then you will, whatever it is. But now, I think that's where we lose it. We don't make the best out of the predicaments we find ourselves in. Like, hata ukiangalia the histories of the things we are given as the solutions. For example, tax as African people. How tax was introduced. Tax was introduced as heart tax. Maybe it's not the only way for people to gain resources from. It's not the only way, because heart tax ilikuwa ulikuwa umekaa tu hapo. Mzungu kama akwambia, oh, kona heart. Nipatie coin, nashanga coin nini akwambia. Mimi ndo niko na hiyo coin, twende job uchune matawi huko.
Hukuja nipatie.
But sasa hiyo concept ya tax tulipatiwa. Na si ati ilikuwa kitambo. Even Kenya is like just a few years older than hip hop. Kenya is 65. It's 60. It's 10 years old. Sasa ni kama bro ya hip hop. Walianza around the same time. They're peers. Kenya na hip hop. It's peers, man. So it's kind of interesting how we don't question these solutions. But anyway, I think Brongo niambia, the older you grow, mnacheza tu games zingine, but mnaamua hizi ndio the real games. Tunasema sisi wote tutakaa hivi.
Decide this is what we'll do.
Kiwato hii mnachezanga game, but mnajua ni magame. But pia they seem real, hide and seek. But I think the world has the ability to feed people, to make sure everyone is okay. But because you have to keep playing these games, you have to create, inequality, because it's more interesting. It's what makes life, so. But during pandemic, we also, domestic violence went up, all those things. It's not statistics.
Suicide.
Suicide is a suicide, Everything, especially for men.
Suicide will trend.
Yeah, man, yeah. The suicide will trend.
I think it was even underreported, man.
Yeah, I think that is, I think I saw some creatives also died. So I think when I saw that, that's where maybe those lines come. And then you're like, I don't know this guy, but because he's committed suicide, you're seeing him all over your timeline, all of a sudden. And that's maybe it's when the suicide will trend. Chagua tribe, my friends. And dude, that shit is real. Unaenda huku nje, talk to people, and you just realize how they're surrounded by so many people, but they're lonely, They're like, a slow death is creeping in. So
I think a lot of us are in that boat. Actually, either consciously knowing or unconsciously. Yeah, much better and I don't know. Now things like those ones, you don't know where you'd get the solutions from. You don't know where to draw that from. Because there's also the thing of punguza people you interact with. There's the need to actually have your punguza. It's too much clutter. Reduce clutter, but at the same time you're like, manze, created an island for yourself, and you can't even cope in it yourself. It's weird. I don't even know where such things have answers from. Where you get answers from.
Yeah, there are people who are good at like curating their lives. We can just curate music and vibes, but there are people who I've seen, like, I don't know if it's, let me just say ladies and women, they have curated their lives.
Yeah.
They have a friend for this, they have a friend for this, they have this. But I feel for men, we just get lost. Futa, unapana na msetu the fact timu yangu ilichapa timu yako.
Unaona vile tuliwafanya.
And then you use very sexual language sometimes. I'm like, as in Mekana some men, I'm like, this is how we just talk to each, and then there's no room for
vulnerability.
Or not even
communication,
conversation. And then Niliona, there's this rise of the idea of community that's coming up. But even this idea, corporates are using it now to create. The thing is now with capitalism, it takes, if we create now, if I say like a solution to loneliness, who say I watch to hapa utona sijui Kenya whatever company has taken it and now they, so sometimes I'm like, if you find your way
nayo
kaa nayo ishi maisha yako, because all these things get co-opted right now. Community, which is something I thought was gonna help people move forward, inatumia with all these companies. They want to create communities. They're narrowcasting, they're not broadcasting anymore, like all this, they use these English terms, and then they, by the time, so you just find we become more, like the other day a teacher was showing me emails from students apologizing why they have not sent their assignments, and all of them have used ChatGPT to kuandika an apology. Like they don't have the humanity to summon up a real apology, like, a real conversation. So I'm like, tuna lose me. That's, I don't know how you gain back your humanness, how you get back your soul, how you return back to what you know. Maybe that's not
just a plug, but that's obsolete. Just like my family.
itakuwa an interesting examination kuona ile impact ya this technology na social media era ita have on us as a species tuka 10 or 20 years from now, and how it affects the wiring of our brain.
It's unimaginable, man.
It's ni vast.
Scroll kilomita ngapi?
Jesus.
How many kilometers? Umekimbia bro. You're running up now. As in umeenda numbers.
Black na wewe je, just going back to hiyo era ya pandemic, wewe mwenye umesema ulikuwa na a pass, ungeza tembea nini magizani, kubarabara magizani from place to place, but interactions zako with the police brutality na the politics at the time, how Gabaili handled the entire thing, ulifilaje?
Okay, me I just feel, first of all, at corner the fact that right now nika said sema kwanza naenda Ocha na unatengeneza hiyo Konza City hapo sijui Techno City. I'm like, are we still under the illusion as we need to build computers, a place for making computers?
Some guy mentioned it. People forget what makes cities pia. It's the people. It's not the technology. It's more sewa kwa hapo wanaharibu vitu wana stay okay.
It's crazy, and now even the idea of what that city they're building is for. I'm looking at these things like AI and chat, just the AI situation going on right now. It's good. Kuna vile itafanya vitu zikuwe super different from how we've been approaching them, even how we've been approaching technology itself. So these things, of course, it's machine learning. It learns to make itself, to improve itself. So our input is going to be very limited as if those considerations are there. So that time ile tulikuwa normal ni the police. Yeah, the police were all over the place. Na ilikuwa ni do. As in, utatuachia nini? So you're actually working with some coins to just know kuna kitu kama 3 unajua umebreak maso 2, unajua tusisumbuane.
Sumbuliwa pia man.
Mimi I was thrown kwa nini? Nilitupa kwanza kwa hiyo track on some an Uber guy I was spotted with an Uber guy, and he had a pass, and me, it was a few minutes late from the curfew. So I was thrown in that. I had to call something like, we need 4Gs. So I had to call somebody, hey, where? Sina doa hapa. Nilipia hii kitu. And I'm like, the same thing, as in you've actually seen a means of you to eat with your very selfish needs, hizo madesire zako. Super selfish. Nataka nishike watu so moja leo. Niokote yangu. I'm like, hey, we didn't have a contingency as a government when these kind of things happen. You don't know what to do. That's why even Tra is talking about the politics. I'm like, hey, politics is, it's so relative. Kuna tu politics kwao hapa ni ile nani na nani wapendani, mimi napenda huyu lakini spend huyu. When you don't even really know what to do as a, and even after experiencing it as a country, let's talk just about our country. Experiencing it as a country, you're still, those things of, we need help from outside. When the entire globe, we are all going through this. Nani anaweza tusaidia? It just shows we didn't have contingencies for this thing. I really wish people in power, people who are aspiring to get there, have solutions for these situations. If you have a nuclear war right now, we know other countries are creating bunkers, serving contingencies. They're trying to see what would happen when these things happen. How can my people survive? Sisi huku, you will know when you get there. And that's horrible for... And now when you bring it back to tax, this is what you wish your tax was being used for, things like this. Unajua, health, it's so bad to know you're paying whatever bills you're paying as tax right now. Now, when you get sick right now, tutakaa chini we put a few coins together for you.
Kukusaidia.
That's a horrible thing in itself. Tax ya kujenga barabara. We don't need more roads. There's way more important things. Like healthcare, Joe. Healthcare in this place is sad.
And terrible.
It's horrible. We're scared to have babies. You know, it's a general consensus in most places. As in, no, more. And it's not because you can't feed them or anything. Nile, kukaenda hivi sahi. Your healthcare situation is carrying a lot of prospective parents. The healthcare part.
Na ni both issue ya accessibility and affordability.
Yeah. Both. And both of them in same capacity. Heavy, as in levels ziko mwisho, not just halfway.
Extreme.
So yeah, when we're doing SADFA, these things were happening and you could see them outside. You're just lucky and you're grateful to the universe, to God for being able to go through it. We know folks who didn't. Up to now, it's recovery for that. And some of them are as big as corporations, not just an individual in the house. As in, you couldn't pick up from there. So we create better contingencies, and whoever is running shit anywhere, be considerate of the people who are dependent on whatever you put up. Be pretty considerate. So tumefunga kampu, I've taken this money to another country. We just fired 150 people. And you just thought, kwa sababu kumenda mbaya, I'm out of here. I've shut down me and my small family, we are out of here. There are people who are dependent on that. You did think twice about those folks. That happened a lot. Nasema, angalia chini.
Najua.
Angalia mbele kidogo.
Maintain kwa portion yako. Was it all SADFA or not? Was it all SADFA?
What? It was project. Coincidence.
The entire COVID situation, that moment.
It's a pandemic. What will you say? It was a pandemic.
SADFA si SADFA.
Both of them.
Blaq, kukushare thoughts zako on your perspective on coincidence and the entire idea of coincidence. Because Chalu nasema you find it fascinating and it's something that tumefikiria for a while. synchronicity, coincidence, vile vitu happen.
Even yesterday, nimeona I have this professor friend of mine, in Kamba, and they say 10 can either be back or future.
Yeah.
So time doesn't always like move the way we think it. Like Blaq alikuwa anasema he was like requesting masks. Time was moving in a different way. It's not a coincidence, but it took time though. I mean, something.
It makes sense. A few months later.
Yeah.
That's what sent me to me. Wait, that whole pandemic time blew my mind. There was so much going on, Angalia. So that you're trying to put an example to me, I was like, wait.
Will you get masks zako?
No. Now when the lady came, I was so sick to a point. She was here for 2 weeks. To a point I couldn't see her. And I'm like, no, we can't meet. And Samunda kupatia whatever I have. We don't know. So
the original quarantine before it became a thing.
The original one.
It's so quarantine.
So when you come out of it and you're told now wear masks. So to me, coincidence, ni kama there's this, they say nothing is a coincidence. It's a cliche saying and stuff, but in a way it's, these things, we're in a matrix of some sort. Everything seems so
coded.
It's properly coded. So ni SADFA. Now I see SADFA. At the end of the day, it's also some bullshit.
It's also some
That's a deep cut. Tukiwa kwa mati kika mlikuwa naongea na Roger pia kuhusu perception ya reality and the idea that this thing is planned and written. Again, kuna the idea that this thing is just chaotic and we are the perpetrators of our fate. Na we are the determiners of our destiny. Hivi vitu vyote. And nikakumbuka kuna ngoma fulani ya Kambata. Anasemanga the number of people is according to the Bible, this number of people will go to hell. Alafu anasema 1,000 will go to hell, and then you can spell that go to hell kwa calculator in ukitumia numbers fulani, and then anasemanga whoever wrote this reality wrote it well. So ukiongelea just the idea of matrix and coding, you kumbusha that bar and that idea of
and that
reality.
thing you're saying about chaos, what is that thing? It's a quote you had, and it's also a sample used in Tell Us
to Say.
It's in Tell Us when Lots to Say. The thing about chaos.
Factor. Oh, it's a lot to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a lot to say. Yeah, there's rhythm in chaos. There's organization in chaos. No, sema hizi vitu zazio kiziangalia unaona zote tu ni kuja madogo dangi iko hivi, but there's a rhythm in it. There's something. It's not just trash. It's weird.
Chaos is a higher form of order.
Exactly.
Order abkao.
Oh yeah, but from a vantage point, chaos iko na order.
Iko na order.
Lazima bird's eye view.
From a vantage point, utaona haitoshi walai. Na utajua there is a meaning.
In Zillow's heaven.
Na hapo ndo utakuwa umefika the other side.
And with that, tumalizie tu hapo ya. Mko na any final thoughts za kuongeza as we conclude the conversation?
Final thoughts, Bengali. First of all, hey, man, I appreciate you guys and keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing. This is why we a very big portion of why you do these things, to be able to review and talk over them. It's books. Sasa tunafanya book reading, tunafanya an analysis of our work done. So that's good. It's nice to remember. We also remembering. A shout out to SADFA. It meant a lot to us. It took us through stuff even as creators. And we appreciate that. And hopefully, when you get something to say, we'll be able to say something, and yeah, that's it for me. Really, and giving thanks.
As you also tell people where they can listen
SADFA.
and find the project.
On Bandcamp, on Akili's Bandcamp, you can find it. You can stream it. But kuna siku zingine nasikianga niache kulipa distro kid, acha tu nitaambia ukweli.
Bado unalipa distribution.
Zamka mpate siku moja
haiko kwa streaming
simu because I've done kiona do imetoka tu kwa banki hapo unashanga why
imeenda ku
exactly zingine they make mistakes, they do it twice, they're like yo that's $35 sometimes. I don't know what's that for, I need to check. Sijui. But anyway, yeah, me I'll just say as well. Yeah.
And also Hala just Maze for physicals and the interactions.
For me, I have this buttons. Jana Kwanza, shout out to people who they just buy things and request, which is dope, man. And people who support, people who are always asking about the music and sharing things I've forgotten about. Kuna mtu ananiulizanga tu lines about songs I wrote kitambo. Or you release any song, someone picks up something, unafikiria I just wrote that now. Wapata DM, kwani ulisema hivi? You're like, okay, cool. But anyway, this is dope that we are talking about a project that we made.
Yeah, it's too dope.
Shout out to yourself, man, for going. You're doing your thing. You're creating your own world. And yeah, there's more worlds out there. There's worlds to explore. There's things to do. As long as you're content with who you are and what you keep building, and just don't lose who you are. If you're not yourself, you're nobody. You can't be anyone else. So.
And also to our contributors, the guys who have been part of this project unconditionally. Yeah, you know yourselves, from Zelo to Sanaa to Goofy. You know, we really appreciate your input in whatever we've been trying to express, and truly appreciate. Thank you so much for that, and let's keep building.
Asanteni sana, man. This has been so beautiful. A project that tulisikiza 3 years back. We've been listening to rap along to shows from Yoshua Balate in 2020 after COVID. Your time things were opening up. People came through and were singing along to the songs and
t-shirts,
rapping along to the songs.
Yo, what? That's when I knew people can buy t-shirts for the price you decide.
It may create a lot, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, kuhusu hip hop and what imetupatia these moments, these experiences. Listen to the music, get the music, share the music, na talk about it publicly, like it publicly, si kwa DM peke yake. As walisema earlier, asanteni for SADFA, asante Tra for starting this segment for this channel where we're having conversations na artists goes to their projects, Akili Blaq for welcoming us to your abode. This has been so beautiful, and I appreciate the insights that umetupatia. We'll work towards also kuongelea maliza roho. Tumesema hapo kuna an entire conversation on maliza roho. versions 20.
Sanaa una vitu mengi from a vantage point. Keep it loud in the spirit, how I master the noise. Spitting laps on the rhythm, I'm the rap them